Hey yo, this is the Corner of the Circle. Nice little podcast with me, your host, LS McLean. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a nosy person. People are nosy. They want to know stories. They want to know what's going on in other people's lives. And yo, I am absolutely no exception. So sit back, relax, and let's just chill for a little bit. This is the Corner of the Circle. Bam, we're in here. We're live. All right.
Awesome.
Listen, I don't even know where to start, and I already told them before I pressed the record button. I don't know where to start. Very, very, very seldom in life are you able to cross paths with people just with a vision. And when you have a vision and they have a vision, in some way you manage to meld those visions together and come out with something beautiful, man. It's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of people that try it. I will be honest with you. There's a lot of people that try it, but there's very few people that can master it. The art of shoes. Doesn't matter if you're designing. Doesn't matter if you're manufacturing. Doesn't matter if you're making a one-on-one custom. It is a very, 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 very hard thing to do. And even harder is it to do it well. A lot of people try. Very few people are successful at it. I have with me two people that are very, very successful at it. They say that it takes at least 10,000 hours to perfect your craft. Well, based off of the materials that I just received, they put at least 1,000,000 hours in because I mean, they sent me heat. I gave them an idea, I gave them a description, and they brought me back something that's so amazing. Like I very rarely want to put it on my feet. They gave me a piece of art. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you BeSPOKE Designs. Thank you very, very much for being on this thing. Hopefully, hopefully the intro did the art justice. For those of you guys that
No, that was perfect. That was perfect.
For those of the people, there's a lot of people that live under a rock right now. For those of the people that live under a rock and don't know who you are, please let us know who you are, man. Go for it. The floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Helen Brown.
And I'm Albert Martinez, and we're BeSPOKE Designs. It's us two right here.
Mhm.
This
you.
is who we are. This is all we have, pretty much.
That's all you need. We got.
That's all we
That's all
need.
you need. That's all you need. One lays like one sets it up, one knocks it down. That's all you need. Man, I came across you, you know, because my man Eric Olmos, he posted
Eric.
he posted the most fire, most creative looking MLL4 that I'd ever seen, and I've known him and Serge, his brother. Shout out to Eric and Serge. I've known those two like 2013, 2013. I met them at the Olympia, and they were actually in line. Okay. They were in line to see Phil Heath, the reigning Mr. Olympia. They got out of line to say what's up to me, and I literally became instant brothers from that point. Because there ain't no way you get back in that Phil Heath line once you get out. So I thought that was real dope with the guys. And honestly, man, our paths have crossed so many times, man. They've showed so much love. I've come to love the guys and trust the guys. And you know, Eric and I, we're both super shoe heads. We're sneaker heads like to death. Mm-hmm. So he's not one to post something that is not fire. And so when he posted, I was like, what is this? And I mean, the colors, the colors caught my eye. The detail is what got me. And again, like I said in the intro, there's so many people that try. And don't get me wrong, they can get base colors down. You know what I mean? They can get partial design down. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's not hard to paint a whole shoe. But when you start getting to the detail, the small areas, and it, you know, when you can make just regular leather or pleather look like a textured, you know, whatever, a textured piece of nylon, like who does that? Who can do that? You know, I mean, and you just had a regular pair of Romy 4s, you had them look like, bro, that's an actual wild animal. Like, that's dope. So I immediately like, bro, who is this? Put your boy on. Let me figure out. Because like I was telling you guys, I was going to tell you off as I'd rather tell you on. I have tried so many times to get a one-of-one Jordan 3 custom made. I've literally had the shoe like deconstructed, reconstructed. I've had, I think I'm at, man, my pops is going to kill me when he hears this. I'm pretty sure I spent at least $1,200 on on Jordan
man.
on threes alone, having them taken apart and trying to have them put. I've tried to use a Romeo. I've tried to use an Adidas. I've tried to use a Reebok. Um,
Mhm.
I've tried every platform that I could. Even went as far as buying some Jordan 4s, Jordan 4 baseball cleats, and
Okay.
having them transferred over, and it just never fit. It just never looked right. I mean, and there were some pretty skilled artists, but it's a hard job to do. So
Very.
I've only run into one guy, and he literally reconstructs the whole Innocent 11, and I'm not a big 11 fan. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I'm like, I mean,
Yeah,
it is what it is. I mean, I don't. It is what it is, man. But he just literally uses premium materials and just reconstructs the whole shoe and just takes the base, I believe, of a Jordan 3 and just builds around that. I mean, of a Romy 3 and builds around that, which is
Right.
cool, but that is so madly expensive. I'd rather just hire somebody to lift the weight for me. You know what I mean? Like, so that it puts you in a financial predicament. So then,
Right.
you start searching and searching. Dude, this has been when I tell you that this has been a project that I have been chasing for 5 years. Finally found somebody that could make it happen. I mean, it's crazy. And in the end, when all the smoke settled and the dust cleared, man, like you hit it on the head. And like I said, I cried. I cried when I got the shoes, man. And it's crazy because when you look at it, you look at the beginning versions and it's just a shoe. It's a lifter. You know what I mean? And a lifter there's nothing sexy about a lifter. No matter how you dress it up, it's an ugly, clunky shoe. It's not meant to be sexy. It's meant to keep you from dying. And so, for you to you basically took a Cadillac Fleetwood and you turned it into a Porsche, just by way of paint job. You know what I mean? So it takes, bro. It takes some skill, man. It takes some skill. It takes some vision. And more than anything, it takes trust on both ends. You know what I mean? And that's for those that aren't really in the sneaker world. You know what I mean? It's like going and getting measured for a tailor suit and trusting that your tailor is going to get your Armani suit to its exact specification.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And for me, I take it so very serious. But at the same time, like, you don't expect it to be done on a hookup. You're like, no. Based off of your work, I need to pay you for your skill. I need to pay you for your work. Don't lowball yourself. You know what I mean? I'm going to pay what I can afford. You know what I mean? And then when I get it back, I'm like, wait a minute, dog. This dude gave me damn. Somebody would have charged me triple, quadruple that amount and put far less detail, far less care into it. You know what I mean? And so for you guys go above and beyond, man. And I mean, and for me, I'm like, well, it's easy to be like, hey, man, you guys go follow these guys. They're dope. But it's another thing, man. Like, just literally from day one, you guys, like, literally from day one, the communication was on point. And you know how it is. You want to know. It's not even about where your money goes. You know what I mean? But when you're excited about something, when you're excited about a pair of shoes, when you're excited about something that you ordered, you go and you look at that tracking number every day to see where it's at. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You want to know what's going on, how it's how it's going, like where in the world it is. If the mail carrier is going to get it a day earlier. You know what I mean? And then for me, maybe I'm the only one. I doubt I am. I start making plans like, bro, when I get this, I'm gonna rock this specific fit with it, and then you know what I mean? Like, at least for me, that's how I am. So from day one, I never had a question of what like the progress was on it, and that's very, very rare. I've had so many one-on-ones made. I mean, and I feel bad I'm not letting you guys talk, but you're about to get the floor. You're about to get to go.
Man. We love this.
I've had so many one-on-ones made in my lifetime, and some of them were for legit, and some were just straight boo-boo. But you never know until you get it back. And that's
right.
I mean, I've had a couple. That's how bad they were. I've had a couple of Red October version 3s made, and one was trash, and I had to get it remade by another guy, and he killed it. You know, you gotta do is paint the shoe red, and it took at least 3 months to get it back. I mean, and I understand traffic. I understand that if you're fire, I get it. You're gonna, it's gonna be a little bit of wait time, but at no point, did I ever doubt like, hey man, am I gonna get my shoe back? Like, I mean, I knew what it was doing. When I asked for pictures, you gave me more than enough pictures. When I asked about the progress, you gave me more than enough information. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I feel bad because I'm asking. I'm like, bro, like, am I asking too many questions? Because I mean, can he even complete it with me asking all these questions? So the communication that you guys lay down is, oh man, dude, that's what hit me. I'm like, man, they're telling me everything. I know
We have
exactly what's
to.
going on. You know
That's
what
the
I mean?
communication
And
is very important.
I'm
It's very
telling you,
important.
and the fact that it's two people. That's what gets me. I'm telling you straight up, the fact that it's two people doing it that's the part that, like, it's kind of a mind-blowing thing, because most times, you know how it is, if it's a one-on-one job, it's one person. It's one person that's doing it. They're the one-stop shop. They do it all. And so if they do it well, that's what's up. But to have two people that are on the same wavelength making this thing happen, that's when I'm like, yo, okay, they got something special. Okay. All right, that's something special. Like, and because obviously two heads are far better than one, and if you get two heads, rolling in the same direction with the same goal in mind, dude, that's an unstoppable force. You know what I mean? So, and when you get the shoe back, you're like, oh my god, the detail. And so for me, and people will see, because I'm gonna bring the shoe out and let people peep it, because I want to look at it again anyway. I'm not even lying to you, man. Like, it's everything I can do to keep from, like, I walked around the house once. I did have one shoe on my left foot, and I walked around the crib. You know what I mean? It's just so I wasn't, like, walking around limping. I put one of my old, like, Romy 3s on my right foot, so I wasn't limping. But I can honestly tell you, man, I knew what to expect because I knew what I wanted. And the crazy thing is I think this is the dopest part, and I never even got a chance to tell you. When you sent me the mock-up, it was almost exactly the mock-up that I had made. And I was like, there's no way. That's the part that I was like, bro, this dude is in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what, oh man. Like, and again, I'm hyped. I got chills talking about it. It's such a first world thing I'm talking about right now. Like, man, when you made these badass shoes from, but I can honestly tell you, man, like, yeah, you guys, like, from the bottom of my heart, man, that it could not have been made better than how you guys made it. That's straight up. There's no in between. It was completely on point, exactly what I want, exactly what I drew down. Your mock-up was way better than mine. You know what I mean? Way better than mine. Like, I'm overdrawn like a third grader, but it was exactly what I wanted. I mean, and then, like, the additions, the tags, bro, those tags.
We had to do something special. We definitely had to do something different, for sure.
Man, listen, the tag did it. The tag for me, it put it over, because I didn't even think of the tag. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, I know where I want the elephant print. I know the color pattern. You know what I mean? Like, even I'm gonna bring the shot in a minute, but I mean, even down to the, you know what I'm saying, the little circles on the vents. I'm like, dude, there's no way this dude knows what, you know what I mean? Like, and I thought, because, like, I've done it before. I've posted, like, ideas for shoes that I would love to have, like my grail of shoes that I would love to have. And I'm like, maybe he just did research on me. He knew that was something that I want. But I'm like, nah, man, I never put that on socials. That's crazy. So I was like, this is as dumb as it sounds. The shoe guys were looking down at me, because there's things that I didn't say anything about a lot of, there's like 3 or 4 things I know for a fact I said nothing about. And you're like, oh, well, what if we're gonna do this? We're gonna think about doing this. And I remember, like, man, I trust you. You're the pro. I trust you. Do what you do. And then came back. I'm like, oh my god, like, okay, cool. All right, you know what? I'm gonna shut up. You got it. So, now I'm at that point. I'm like, all right, what else can I get them to make, man? Like, I got a 4 idea that I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I might try to go 4 with 4, since I just did a 3 with a 3. You know what I mean? We'll talk about that later. Right.
Yeah,
but let's talk about where, first of all, let's talk about the name. Let's talk about where the name comes from, man. Okay. I mean, honestly, it's cool. Like, you type it in, and there's not a lot of companies with the name, but I mean, that name has to have something. It has to have a meaning. I mean, obviously, the word has meaning for sure. But where did the company name come from?
So the company name, honestly, and first before I get into it, it's never a perfect logo or a perfect name when it comes to your own logo. We're both actually graphic designers. We actually just graduated from Cal Lamy this past semester. I had my
Hey,
graduation canceled.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I had my graduation canceled, but I had a lot of friends roll on by and honking their horns and pissing off the neighbors next door. So
Right.
it was great. It was fun.
That's awesome, man.
But when it comes to design, when it comes to your own logo, when you're with your own name, with your own brand name, it's never perfect. So
Never.
that's always the hardest thing to do
Yeah.
because it's yours.
I get that for sure.
It's hard. But the fact that we have each other, when it comes to like design or art school,
yeah,
every single time we come into class, we're presented with a project, and then the next time we meet, we present in front of 30 students with professionals, with professors,
right?
Sometimes even with the clients. So we're so used to working together. We've known each other for 2 years, more than 2 years now. And when we work together in a team, whenever we present, it's hard to make our own stuff, but it takes the other person to kind of tell you exactly where you are, whether you need to push it further or you need to take a step back. And she was just my muse for sure. She was just telling me, no, this is a perfect name. And so that's how the idea and the thought of just like getting there. So the name bespoke, the word bespoke means tailored fit, one of one, unique. So I wanted something, because we're making something for someone specific. We're not just, it's not factory made. We're not doing it on the masses. It's supposed to be meaningful to someone, so it has to fit perfectly to them. And I don't know, at the time, there's just a lot of stuff going on. I can't remember exactly the motivation for sure for the name, but I know I wanted bespoke, but there's so many companies out there that's already bespoke this, bespoke that. Yeah. And, well, we were thinking a little bit, I was trying to think a little bit different out of the box. I know, like, the word at the time was, being woke. Right. Like when the phrase just started to come out a lot more. Yeah. And so in my head, I'm like, you know what? Be woke. That's cool, because it's like you're realizing what the hell's really going on. Right. But it's like there's so many people that's being woke, but there's not a lot of people speaking about it. So indeed, that's where BeSPOKE became. That's how the idea came up. So, we're being spoke about our creation. So the way I pitched it, if you were our client, and the way I was pitching it to, with our advertising team, there's so many people that are woke, but there's not a lot of people talking about it. It's and BeSPOKE is the name because it's our time to express ourselves and let our creations, be known and get out there. And that's exactly what people, for example, your design and your thought process of your shoes, we want you to express your ideas through your footwear, during your competitions or your lifts with your friends. So we want you to be spoke about who you are. Right, for sure. That's dope. God, that's so dope. So you guys, you've been doing it. How long have you really? I guess I should say, when and where was that moment? Like, shoes, we can do this. Is it something you've always done, or it's just kind of naturally happened, gradually happened? I mean, we could talk about our experiences. I'll let her go first. I mean, when did you first start?
I would definitely say for me, Albert got me into it for sure. I was definitely a sneakerhead myself, but I never, because when you get a custom or when you get a pair of new shoes, you're like, dang, I really, really like these if they're all white or whatever. But you're like, man, I want that one of one pair where it's a custom made design, character or whatever that resonates with you. And Albert was previously doing it already, kind of just doing it as a hobby, and I was like, you know what, that's something that I would really be interested in. And then what I also wanted to do is custom make heels. So he helped me, and he taught me his craft, and that's how we got into it. But like he said, we're kind of each other's muse, because I would lean on him and he would lean on me when, for the design aspect. Right. He's more of the hands-on crafty guy, and I'm more of I would say the marketer, the designer. Definitely. We should definitely do this, push this. Okay, we need to do this, and he's like, okay, I can do it. Just you know what I mean? Yeah. So
Which by the way, we're both graduated under BFA in graphic design, but she's also has her minor in marketing. So if you need any marketing tips, she's your girl.
Shout out marketing kids in the house. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we have the benefit of that too, to market ourselves. So we're just putting our heads together. And so like she said, I was on this journey for a while, and she just I mean, I don't know how she took notice, and I can't remember exactly how we first got in the conversation, but I remember coming into my class, my professor put me on blast. The last thing I want my professors to do is, because I've been doing this for like almost 8, 9, 10 years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then we had a class together, our first class together. We're in our program, we're almost like the same 30 students there for the 2 years, and then you graduate. So we had a professor together, and he knew what I was doing. I started a long time ago, probably like in 2012, and by accident too. We'll get into it a little bit right now, but she noticed that I was always in and out of class. I was always leaving. I was never really with the group. Not that I didn't feel welcome at first or anything like that, but I was just always on the hustle and busy. Mike Whitlow was our professor, awesome friend of ours too. He just
shout out Mike Whitlow. Shout out Mike Whitlow.
He put me on blast. He told everybody, he's like, "Hey, this is Albert. He's a successful entrepreneur. He has his own business." And I'm just like, "Oh man, these guys are already going to start expecting a lot from me now." and I, put a target on my back. And he was just like, "Is it okay if I could talk about it?" I'm like, "Well, you already talked to me about me, so might as well just keep going now."
You already got me now. Go.
So he was just telling everybody, like, yeah, so he's been working with professional athletes. He's been working with the Dodgers, with the Angels, been working with, professional ball players, been doing good. And how's the season been? And then I'm just like, it's been good, just busy. So like I was telling before, I would just go in and out so much because I would go to class and then I would go straight to a meeting. My then partner would pick me up, and then we would go meet some of the players from like the Dodgers, or I would go to Angel Stadium to meet a player, drop off the shoes before a game. And so I was just constantly hustling, and that's kind of how we discovered each other. And she just pulled me to the side, and then she just asked me, "So, like, what do you do exactly?" I remember that first day too, like it was yesterday. So we were just chatting up, and then we're just catching up on each other and what I do. But for me, I started this in 2012, probably even sooner than that, by accident. I first started as a graffiti artist, and then it evolved. It kept evolving into something different. I went from graffiti art. My high school teacher caught me tagging on school property, but he saw something in me, so I really appreciate for him not, sending me to the principal's office or anything like that. And he told me, like, you know what, you're really good at that. Well, there's something you can do to make money off of it. Have you ever thought about that? And I never really have. And so from there, he started teaching me like a different idea of how it went from walls to bridges in LA to canvases. And I would just make canvas work out of it. And my technique was specifically stencil art. If nobody's really familiar listening, it's you just cut out the shapes, whatever you want, use the same stencil, run up on a wall, and just spray paint it and run away. So that's kind of like the idea. Some big artists out there that I didn't even know about. I thought I was original because my friend taught me it, but I'd never heard of Shepard Fairey. I never heard of Banksy.
Yeah. I was like, that's Banksy right there, bud.
That's Banksy. So
that's Banksy for real. Yeah.
I thought I was doing it first, but then Google came and I started researching everybody. Oh, God damn it, everybody's doing it.
Oh yeah. But that's something that I identify your skill with. You know what I'm saying? Like, and God, that is so. Man, I'm glad we're having this, man. Bro, yeah. I mean, it's all about the evolution. It's all about learning about as many people in the skills that they bring to the table as possible. And this is something that I never would have thought. I mean, I guess I can imagine it could lead to more things, but I never thought that graffiti artistry could lead to to making some of the most beautiful shoes. Because I mean, let's be honest, you go from a bigger canvas to a smaller canvas to one of the smallest canvases, that one can work with. Yeah. And so while the canvas, I'm about to get artistic for this, poetic even. While the canvas gets smaller, the intensity and the passion it almost has to get larger.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know,
yeah.
I mean, because one has to concentrate that much more. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I mean, the skill required behind the hand, you know what I mean, to hold it steady is really required, I mean, that much more intensely. And of course, you know, the idea behind how am I going to turn this blank black shoe into an absolute work of art that's completely unrecognizable. You know what I mean? Like, that takes vision, that takes skill, that takes season. You know what I mean? And like, to think that, you know, you go from pretty much damn near pre-2012, go through all these journeys, you go through A through Y, and from Y to Z, you just start making just some heat. I mean, and I can't even lie and be like, I mean, yeah, bro, like, you guys are making straight heat. And the cool thing for me has been, all right, listen, you see the heat that they gave me? You know they can do that for you too. And I'm gonna be like, I mean, once, like, as far as I'm just like, once you're in there, you're in there. So I'm like, yo, look at that following going up. Let's go. Pay attention.
Appreciate that.
Because my thing, it's not, no, it's not. I ain't doing anything. You did it. You know what I mean? Yeah. My thing is like, I would have known a thing about what you guys do had I not seen what you guys did for Eric. You know what I mean? And it's like, he did me the biggest favor by paying it forward so that I could, like, yo, I need to get that. And the hardest thing in this, I'm gonna say this to your faces because I didn't want to say it via text. I didn't want to say it over IG. The hardest thing is to tell people, yeah, man, this is who did it for me. Oh, you think they do one for me? Yeah, man, sure. They'll do the one of one for you too. You know what I mean? Like, that is the hardest thing, because, like, kind of like you said, like, you want that one of one. You don't want anybody else to have that shoe. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the dope thing is, you know, you get that one of one, you get it first, you set the trend. You know what I mean? And it's like, for me at least, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'll borrow the term, you know, the obviously, like, your copying is the biggest form of flattery. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, you can mimic. That's cool. You can do the imitation, but I got that OG. You know what I mean? So that's, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's when I was like, you know what, man? Like, I think I got more excited to talk to you guys because of the jealousy that, like, started stirring up in me, because I didn't want anybody else to have what I had. That's how. No, I'm being 100 with you now. Like, this is as honest as I can be with you. Like, straight up, man to man, man to woman. When you give that little bit of jealousy in your heart because you don't want anybody to have what you have because it means that much to you, dude, that's special. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I got a ton of one-on-ones that I've had made, and I'm like, yeah, bet. Yeah, here's my dude, go meet that. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, are you gonna ask him for what I just had? Why don't you just ask him for the heel portion? You know what I mean? Like, you know, why don't you just don't get the Jordan on the back, get Nike Airs on the back. Don't get, like, you know what I mean? And I will be honest with you. I'll tell you this. That's part of God, I'm so selfish. That's part of the reason I wanted both of them.
Right. Okay.
I'm like, cool, because somebody's going to ask for a Nike or somebody's going to ask for Jordan. Not a lot of people are going to ask for both. I mean, because as soon as I saw them, I was like, dude, everybody's going to be on this. People are going to be on this. And, I mean, it's been nasty how, like, oh, bro, I really need to get that. So because I mean, they like, where on your store can I get that? Like, dude, you can't get this at my store. You can't get this at any store. Like, are you doing one-on-one? Like, when have you ever seen me paint? Get out, you know what I mean? So, like, I think for me, that's been the coolest part. And it's kind of hearing the evolution, which I'm gonna let you get back to. Hearing, like, that point of evolution, we're like, oh, so she came kind of out of left, like, let me get in there with you. And you're like, no, I came from the bottom up. You know what I mean? So it's like, right now, in terms of the story, we're seeing this happen. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, God, bro. And the fact, you know what I'm saying, you've always been, I mean, that young hustle, dude, that young hustling spirit. Man, that E-spirit, bro, people don't respect that as much as they should. Because a lot of people just don't have that E-spirit in them, man. A lot of people don't want to be in. Like, it's hard. It's a gamble. It's a daily gamble. And you know what I mean? Like I live. I'm an entrepreneur myself. People don't understand that if you don't work, you don't eat mentality. A lot of people don't get that. You can say, "Oh, yeah, man, you don't work, you don't eat," but you still can go to a 9 to 5 and do what you do, bro. But when you are completely married to your passion, if you do not work, you do not eat. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? So to hear that you've always been on the go, that you've always been on the hustle, bro, like you know what I mean? Like that adds even more value. You know what I'm saying? And then add to that, that obviously you are well educated, both of you. Thank you for that. You are very well educated. You know what I'm saying? You know your history. You know what I mean? And you're not just a student, you're an artist. And you know your art history. You know what I mean? You know your foundation. So that, you know, for me, at least in my opinion, that's going to bleed into the work. Because a standard is set. Once you know your history, you know, once you know your likeness, once you know, like, you know what, I may not have the exact same stroke as Banksy. You know what I mean? I might not have, you know, the exact same vision. I mean, we are cut from the same cloth. You know what I mean? So our standard is set right then and there. You know what I mean? And it's like you, as an artist, you don't allow yourself to go any further, you know, any further down than that complete standard that's set. So, I mean, you know, that's a part I'm like, dude, that makes this beautiful pair of kicks mean that much more to me. Cause I'm like, you know, you get to learn the story behind the people. And the dope part is like, now I get to share the story. Like, oh, you want the shoes made? Let me show you the people that done. Yours are cool. But let me tell you, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's dope. That is so dope. So we're at a point right now in your life where, you know what I mean? You're in class and they're talking about you and, you know, and your work that you're doing. We'll pick up from there. You're back on. Okay. Go for it.
Cool. And then I want to point something out too, because you just briefly spoke about it. I think the thing that we both, like, what we shared more than anything was the hustle. I come from my dad, you know, bless his soul, we may have our differences. He's the type of guy that never says I love you, but he cares about you, but he just can't say it because he's really macho.
Yeah, got that machismo, man.
But exactly. And he's worked his ass off for, God, I don't know how long, almost 30 years in the same shop. And actually just, I think 2 or 3 years ago, just got kicked out of his shop and, you know, stress out about opening shop somewhere else, but he pulled through and we got it going and he's still working today. And I think I got the work ethic from there. One of the worst, but also best things that my mom told me when I was a kid, I remember just going off on her. I can't remember exactly why, but I just remember just telling her, watch, when I grow up, I'm not going to have someone tell me what to do. I'm not going to have someone tell me when to take my lunch, when I'm supposed to come in and when to, you know, all that stuff. So like, I'm gonna set my own hours. And I remember just being angry from what happened, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but mom told me the worst thing at the time, but the best thing in the end was you're sounding exactly like your father. And looking back now and seeing all the sacrifice he's done and made sure that my mom didn't work, to, you know, to take care of us, the kids at home, which are the most underrated job that's always underappreciated.
Oh, without a doubt.
Pay, without a doubt. That's why we both resonated on each other, because we both have that idea, that mentality of like, we want to have our own thing, you know. You know, we understand that, you know, in order to keep hustling, we have to have a source of income, eventually have a career to funnel our business. But the main goal is to always just have our own thing at the end of the day. Something that we can truly call ours, our own empire.
Yeah, man.
And I know she had this exact same feeling.
I definitely had a different beginning than Albert. I come from, you know, a nice middle class family. My dad worked 35 years for Northrop Grumman. My mom was a doctor at the LA County Sheriff. But they set me up. We're like, hey, I put you through school. I'm going to pay your way to get through school, but you need to pick your own path. And for me, I'm kind of the same way. I hate when people tell me what to do. I hate, you know, schedule. And I've always been told I'm going to be my own boss.
Yes.
I've always wanted that. And then just me and Albert starting this shoe design company, it's really given us the ability to, you know, choose our own hours, choose our, you know, our clients. Honestly, everything we decide, we make all the decisions. I mean, even though COVID-19 is kind of made the decisions for us.
Oh yeah.
But all in all, we've definitely got to work for ourselves. I think that's a big thing.
Definitely.
Like, we're go-getters. Like, we that's one thing we don't accept failure. That's the one thing I admire about Albert. It's like, because me, I'll be like, dang, I failed at this. He's like, all right, calm down, go drink something, eat a little something, calm down,
Yeah.
And,
we have each other on that, and I'm glad you said that now, because hearing the praise that you're giving us means the world to us, and that's why I did it. It was never about, well, I'll put it this way. The praise that you gave us, amazing. That's what we do it for. But she pointed out something. I hate failure more than I love success.
I hear you.
I hate it.
It's like suffocating, man. Like failure is suffocating. And don't get me wrong, you can lose. You can take an L here and there. You know what I mean? And you can get a little something out of it. But at the end of the day, I'm like, bro, I just took an L. And it eats at you, and it eats at you, and it eats at you. And I'm like, all right, well, what am I going to do to never... For me, like, I'm good with, like, I'm good at learning the lesson and trying my hardest not to repeat the same mistakes that led me to that L. But that L never leaves the back of my head. And it's just like, lingers and lingers and lingers. Like, what can I do?
It really does.
What am I going to do to never feel that way again? Even if I take a completely different L the next time, that first L that I felt, I never want to feel that again. You know what I mean? So I kind of like put it in my backpack, like, all right, I'm gonna be back for you. You know what I mean? Like, and hopefully, if I do ever, cross paths with that particular form of L again, I'm gonna get the W next time. You know what I mean? It's like I'm equipping myself to make sure that I never take that L again. Like, failure, I mean, and I think, I'm with you guys on that. I mean, the hard part is to sometimes just accept that failure. Like, all right, I failed on this.
Yeah.
Whew, okay, cool. Okay,
it's a very bitter pill to swallow, but you have to.
It is the most bitter pill. You know what I mean? Because especially on this side of the aisle, when you are your own boss, when you do make your own hours, so I feel like it almost kind of you're already taking a knife to the side, but it twists the knife because like there's something I could have done. At least you think there's something I could have done to prevent that. I allowed myself to take this L. But then that dopest feeling, as you know, is that bounce back. I'm like, you know what? That's cool. I'm just going to get back in the lab. I'm going to get back at it. You know what I mean? And then coming out with something that's just twice as good as the one you took the L on, or, and having that feeling just like, you know what? I got a dub on this one. This is that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for me, it's always usually like that walk, like done whatever project that I took the L on prior, maybe repeating or doing something different and getting a dub, and then that moment that I walk away from it, maybe I'm walking to get some water, I'm like, hell yeah, did that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I am so glad we're having this convo. That's all you go for,
It's an important conversation to have.
Yeah, man.
I mean, a lot of artists out there need to hear this. A lot of the times, and I think it's not just the artist community, but for like everybody. I think that knife that gets set in our side when we fail, sometimes it's inevitable because we have time crunches, we have deadlines, and we have to get things done. And sometimes it's never on our side. But that knife twisting and just getting deeper, that's done by ourselves. That's because we keep beating ourselves up.
Yeah.
And she notices that, like, she noticed how hard I am on myself when I fail. But this is the reason why this partnership works better than any other partnership I've ever had. Because we have each other to lean on.
True story.
We're our own worst critique, but we're also our best support.
Oh yeah,
hands down.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's like my boy said, it be the closest ones to you. You know what I mean? Like, it really is. It's either you're gonna demolish yourself, or that person closest to you is gonna demolish you. But then at the same time, that's gonna be the first person that builds you up. You know what I mean? And at this, in this day and age, man, like, loyalty is absolutely everything. You know what I mean? And people legitimately having your back, not for a self-serving reason, other than they want to see you succeed as much as you want to succeed, and vice versa. So, when you're in when you're in a partnership where there's somebody there like, you know what, man, I want you to succeed as much as I want myself to succeed. You know what I mean? I know that you feel the same way about me. You know what I mean? It builds this bond. It builds this foundation of trust. Yo, and I mean, at least for me, I always feel like, bro, I feel like I can take on the world, man, because it's not just me. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's refreshing, bro, because I mean, you're young stars, man. So your breath is just now not smelling like Similac. You know what I mean? You're getting ready to, you don't have the Bambi legs, like you're starting to walk on your own and do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? And you know how, bro, you already know how the world is, man. Like, like the rest of us, we're waiting for you. Like, come on out here, young buck. Come on out here. We're waiting for you.
That's exactly what it feels like.
You know what I mean? And and
back at freshman year in high school.
I'm telling you, it's so crazy because it's freshman year every year.
Yep.
Until one day you're like, hey, bro, I think I'm like a junior. I'm not quite senior, but I mean, I'm a junior status right now. I'm all right. I mean, I kind of know the ropes a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, like, I think a lot of people, at least for me, even hitting that junior level, like, I feel like right now I'm around sophomore. I'm about to be junior level. You know what I mean? Where I'm like not so comfortable. You know what I mean? But I'm not like scared. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting up in that Bill Gates level, like that senior level, like, come on, buddy, you can do it. I'll be back here, you know what I mean? But like there are people out there that hit that senior level that, that wish they still had that feeling of a freshman. You know what I mean? Because it's a hungry feeling.
I think it's a balance. I think it's a balance that you have to have. You have to have, especially when it comes to business, you have to have that senior level mannerism with the freshman level mentality of it.
All right, come on with it then. Yes, sir. Yes, I got it. Hey, that's gonna be the quote. Damn, let's go. That kind of got me hyped. That really kind of got me hyped. So you guys, you're at a point now where it, what's again. I know I wanted to kind of talk about, a little bit. You know, what I mean, like I said, I told you beforehand, and I tell people like, I mean, I want to be able to talk about it a little bit, but I don't want people to know how the sausage is made. They don't get that. You know what I'm saying? That's going to cost you. You know what I'm saying? Like where, take us to the most generic step in terms of the process, if you will. I mean, so I'd say that I just, I reach out to you. You know what I mean? Like, hey, listen, I want to have, we'll use my shoe, for example. I'm like, hey, man, I saw what you did, when my man Eric's shoe, that thing is fire. Like, what can I do to get a shoe like that? What's the response going to be? Like, what steps do I need to take?
Okay, so I could give you the best advice ever before we get into the steps is one, I mean, when it came to you and me, the communication was very important. We always start with the mock-up because, and this is from my experience working with Major League Baseball players, when this is where, I mean, we can get into that a little bit soon too, but I think it's fair to say that I was one of the first people in MLB to start customizing shoes. But I had a talk with the player that changed everything. The way I thought it was, he played for the Dodgers too. He told me that, well, I gave him the shoes and he loved it. He's like, man, this is exactly what I was talking about. And it's like I had so many artists contact me and I commissioned one person to do a pair of shoes for me, but it was not at all how I wanted it to be. They took their own free liberty. But I love the fact that you came up with a mock-up. The mock-up is very important because the mock-up shows that we understand each other. There's a communication going on.
Right.
And even though you and I didn't have that much communication, but it's since 2012 and before that, that's the experience of I have an idea of kind of more or less what you want and what you're asking for.
Right.
The client is always right and you want to give them what they want, but you also got to give it that touch. So the mock-up was very important for us because we can have the mock-up ready. If you didn't want, like if there's for the elephant pattern, if you wanted a lighter or darker gray, we can go back to the mock-up and make that switch and give it to you in 5 to 10 minutes. So the mock-up was very important. As far as the technical side, I mean, the preparation is probably the most important thing other than just like actual paint on the shoes and materials. Do you want to add on to that? Because
I would definitely say, like Albert said, the mock-up I think is the main thing that really pushes us forward. When it comes to doing shoes, I think honestly, like Albert said, is the prep. You gotta, for example, with yours, we had to like definitely take adhesion. We had, what did you call it?
Adhesion promoter.
Adhesion promoter, and we had to deglaze it. We had to take off the factory coat that you guys that the factories put on. We have to sand the plastic parts. It's just a lot of preparation. So after you wear it or you do a couple things, it doesn't fall apart.
Right.
And again, I always believe that, you know, you can have your secrets, but we also got to help each other as artists.
Without a doubt.
Because we push each other. The moment somebody innovates, you always want to outdo that person, and you just motivate each other. So, like, the preparation is key, hands down. And I'll give you guys, like, I'll even show and tell. So these are the Roma Layer 4s.
Right.
All white.
Crispy.
And these are the Roma Layer 3s.
Crispy.
3XTs. So they're all leather.
Yeah.
And the key, like, they have the same heel, like the, you know, for lifting.
Right.
But the primary difference is this knitted material.
Yeah.
This reacts a lot differently compared to the leather.
Right.
There's a different preparation method. So this knitted material, it's firm, and the ink really bleeds in. So we have an additive from Angela. Shout out to Angela's Direct for helping us
in the house.
So we have an additive. You can look it up on their website. So you can mix in the paint so it absorbs perfectly in there without too much bleeding. But then also, when you heat it up, the problem with paint, obviously, it gets hard and it crunches up. But one of the additives they have is when you heat it over 300 to 350 degrees, it keeps it soft. So when you have the shoes on, it feels natural. And of course, it's a little bit different with the leather because this is a leather-based shoe, so you don't really have to do the same preparation. Angela's Direct does an amazing job with the paints, where it's acrylic paint.
Yeah.
But it works primarily for leather. That's how they label it.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is just really clean the top. Use a deglazer is what they have it.
Yeah.
And then just apply the paint. You can use a duller to make it, you know, like a matte finish, or you can put a gloss finish to it. So we really got to understand the surface that you're working with. Whatever your canvas is, really understand the ins and outs. And another thing too that I always want to think about, plastic. Plastic, it's not like leather and it's not like knitted material.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing to paint in the sense of, if you scratch it with your nail without prepping it, it'll come right off.
Right.
So we have to take that extra step. We sand it 2 to 3 times with the fine grit and getting finer or rougher and rougher.
Yeah.
And then we use an automotive adhesion promoter to make sure the paint sticks. And then you're free to go ahead and paint. But then we also take that extra step to add an additive in the paint to make sure it sticks to plastic. And then we put 3 to 5 clear coats over it to protect it. So, because we want to make sure that our artwork not only looks good, but that it lasts.
It's gotta last, man. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say it's fireproof. It's not, you know, it's gonna eventually wear off. But that's what art is, because what we're doing is we're still painting on canvas. We're you know, whether Leonardo da Vinci did a painting on a canvas or if he did it on the chapel ceiling of the wall, wear and tear happens. But that's the beautiful part about it. Me personally, I love things that are handcrafted, and I love seeing little mistakes, even though it's not intentional, it just happens. But I know that it came from someone's hands and not out of a factory.
That's right. Spot on. That's spot on. Different. Yeah. I mean, it's made. It's like, you know that it's made for someone specific rather than the masses. And I think, again, you know, I'll definitely piggyback off that. That's why, at least for me, that's why these shoes are so important to me, because I know that these shoes were made with me in mind, you know, and, you know, and I was lucky. Like I said, I mean, you know that you have someone good when, you know, you can give, you know, I gave as much description as I felt that I needed. And then on top of, you know what, also, obviously, you know the shoe, but just in case you don't know the shoe, this is the shoe. I mean, at least, you know, because the last thing you want to be is a hard customer. Just like, you know what I mean? Like, if a good and or service is provided to and for you, regardless of transaction, you want to try to be the best customer possible on your end. Definitely. You know what I mean? To be the best customer possible, it honestly makes for an easier, almost an easier process. So I was like, all right, well, for me, what can I do? And again, I mean, you know, kind of like you said, you've had so much experience, obviously, with doing shoes and you know, making just making works of art, for people's feet that, I mean, I didn't really have to say much, you know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, I've had as many one-on-one customs as I've had, and I've had enough horror stories with trying to get this freaking lifter made that I'm like, you know what? Let me provide him with more information. You know what I mean? Even if I overshare, you know what I mean? Like, well, at the end of the day, based off of, and again, this is me making an assumption based off of the work that I saw. I'm like, he knows what he's doing. They know what they're doing. I mean, clearly they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? So rather than be like, hey man, let me just step all over your toes, I gave you, as much detail and description as I wanted. I show you the shoe that, that I really, really wanted. And, I mean, in my head, I'm like, all right, I know exactly what I want. I'll try my own little boo-boo mock-up, you know what I mean? And if he needs to see it, then I can show, hey, this is what I was thinking. But then when you sent me that mock-up, hours later, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't days. I get this mock-up hours later. I'm like, this dude is in my head. They are in my head. That freaked me out. I'm not going to lie, it freaked me out a little bit. I'm like, okay, that's a bet. You know what I mean? And I don't even think I was like, oh yeah, add this. Add that. I was like, yeah, bro, that's it. That's the one. Yeah, that was it. And that, honestly, that was like, well, you got a fan for life for me. So then, of course, I immediately, my wheels start to spin. I was like, if this, because again, you know how it is. It's a mock-up, say, be like a t-shirt company. It's always, it's pretty much the same thing because all I got to do is, I'm just going to, go over the screens, blah, 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 and I'm done. But a mock-up from a shoe to happen, on an actual shoe, that's completely different because then it doesn't go to a machine. It goes to human hands. Completely different. And then obviously opens up the whole world of human error. All right, let's see what happens. How steady is this?
And there's a lot of rooms. There's a lot of rooms for error, especially for the Jordan 3s, because unlike the shoes you have releasing today, a lot of like the Jordan 3s and the 4s, they were really thick shoes.
Very
thick with 2 C's. They were really heavy, chunky shoes. A lot. So to make it look similar on a shoe like this, this is a pretty slim shoe. I mean, your size is a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But you want to focus on these elements, like on these plastic pieces here, that give it that effect of thickness, just like the Jordan 3 would. That's, you want to look for those areas to expose those, to express the same thing that the Jordan 3 has. And
you definitely did. Like, and I'm definitely gonna piggyback off what you said. So again, when I reached out, he's like, hey man, you need, if because I think OG, I was like, I have a bunch of 3s, and I thought, oh yeah, can you just do it with my, my all black Romy 3s in the and because of you guys obviously have that experience, and you have, I'm sure you've had enough horror stories, you've run into enough, this crap with the OG materials, I mean, they're not gonna react the same obviously as you would with obviously a full leather, a full leather makeup. So when I reached out, I was like, hey man, can you do this, blah blah blah. You were like, hey, you get that XD, full leather base. I remember I was like, all right, is this the one right here? Yes, that's the one right there. Cool. Let me get that. Reached out, did a few bids here and there, got the shoe. I'm like, all right, got the shoe, send it your way. Like, I don't even, like, I think that was like, that happened over like a 2-day, 3-day period. You know what I mean? All right, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, boss, I'm on it. Went, made it happen. And I think I had it to you within like 2 or 3 days. As soon as I got it, like, all right, let's go get it going. So I got it out to you, and basically, this is what I had. You know what I mean? Just a regular old black, leather shoe. Then I was so excited to pick this up. Oh, yo, it's so dope.
See.
And then you took it from this, like I said, you took it from this, and you made this. One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And again, oh, this is so beautiful. You know what I mean? And it's a detail. We talk about detail, and again, that was the biggest thing that I was concerned about. And notice I'm keeping that logo right here so people know where the logo's popping out. Because when I flip this whole over, they're like, what? And so again, like, and it's the little things. Like, I mean, you put the Jumpman on the tongue, son. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And if you see a lot of these one-on-one, custom, guys and girls, they do a very good job. And I'll even say that, they might even go as far as painting this bad boy gray. They might go wolf gray like you guys did, but they would leave this out. A lot of people just would leave this out, or they would throw their logo right here. You know what I mean? And you know as well as I know, a true sneakerhead, if you're doing a 1-of-1, it needs to look like, even though it's a 1-of-1, it needs to look like that came off the Nike line right there.
Yeah.
It looks like an OG color that was made for me. It looks like the same. It looks like the same 1-of-1 custom that Jordan Brand made for Melo, or that Jordan Brand made for Chris Paul, or that Jordan Brand, sent to Kobe, even though Kobe wasn't even rocking Jordans. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to look like that. You know what I'm saying? And so to see something like that, I was like, okay, we're on it. He's on it. They're on it.
And then for us is like, from an artist standpoint, you have to respect the masters. The masters, like 17th century artists, Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo da Vinci, and so many other great artists. You have to respect what they have. What they have is perfect. And when it comes to sneakers, for me, my favorite Jordan is the Jordan 4 and the Jordan 1s.
Yes.
That's perfection right there.
Yeah.
So when you ask for a throwback design, you got to throw it back 100%, as much as you can go.
If you, like, and again, I get, I get chills because Tinker Hatfield, I believe, he gets his just due. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't know that people even see Tinker Hatfield, who is, obviously did the 3, did the 4. He did so many Jordans, so many, like obviously the Air Max 1. I don't believe that Tinker Hatfield gets the respect he deserves as an artist. He gets it as a shoe designer. You know what I mean? He gets it as, a Nike icon, but I don't believe he gets respect. And I'll say a few shoe designers for that matter. I don't know that they get the respect as an artist as they should. You know what I mean? Like, and when you look through, it's only going to be sneakerheads that are like, but Tinker, dude, Tinker. You know what I mean? Like, if you say Tinker around sneakerhead, like, yeah, Tinker for sure, respect. You know what I mean? But, like, the same way that you say Banksy, I'm like, oh, Banksy, okay, bro, I see you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, but Tinker, Tinker? Who's this Tinker you speak of? I mean, and there's been so many shoes over the years that have literally been just so many Tinker's models that have been ripped off, regurgitated over and over and over in so many ways. And so for me, even when I did my own mock-up, and like, again, seeing how your mock-up and then when I got it, it was so reminiscent of the OG Jordan 3. It was, it screamed Tinker. And I mean, Tinker, he's so iconic in terms of that back design, that Nike Air, the butt of the shoe, the way it looks. No other person has captured that Nike look. I mean, up to present day. I mean, if anybody does it, because they ripped it from Tinker. One of the few shoe artists that I know of that really focused on, not just the silhouette of the shoe, but the butt of the shoe. You know what I mean? Like, as you walk away, like, I know exactly what that shoe is. You know what I mean? Because, again, if you see a 4, which is my second favorite shoe, you see that 4 is, that 4, obviously derived from the 3, which obviously came from the 2, which is slept on, by the way. The 2 is very slept on. But for a fact that 2 is a direct descendant from the 1. And you see that evolution from that 1 to that 2 to that 3. And I mean, it really, I again, people hate me, but when you see the 4, you're like, the 4 is as close to, as far as I'm concerned, it's close to shoe design perfection as it gets for the Jordan. You know what I mean? While the 3 is my favorite shoe, the innovation, that the lines on the Jordan 4 is so beautiful. You know what I mean? I mean, because as soon as you get to the 5, it's like, what happened? It's not a knot. Yeah. But the 5 is like, you know what I mean? Like, they want to do something different with that one. I don't know about the clear bottom, but it is what it is. It's a 5. You know what I mean? Like, the reflective tongue, that's pretty dope. But I mean, it's such a just like, let me go ahead and just leapfrog over the pond 2 times to get away from that silhouette. And the back of the shoe it's still reminiscent of the 4 and the 3, but it's not the same. It's not the same. That 4, I believe, that's the 88, 89, around the 1990 era. That's when, in my opinion, that's when shoes were at their absolute best. Like
agree.
that 1988 to 1992, people like the shoe game was it was killing, and people were willing to pay $100+ for a pair of shoes. And so when I see that all black joint turn into this, I'm like, okay. And so for me, it brought back feelings. It brought back it's nostalgic, man. Like the butt of this shoe, dog. You kidding me? Like, oh my gosh, man. It's one thing to take a pair of shoes, send them off, have them sent back to you, and be like, what is going on? I'm sorry, I'm not even looking at you guys. I'm looking at the shoe right now.
But it's yours. That's the whole point.
But again, get into and here in a minute, I'm actually gonna get an actual OG3 and bring it up so people can see like, oh my God, they went in. You know what I'm saying? What got me for real was like, I didn't even explain, like, you know, the red dots, like the holes. Like, I didn't even say anything to you about that.
That's all her too. The red holes. I mean,
that's you.
Knew that we had to fit them in there. That's all her right there. That's her idea, hands down.
So you're the one in my head, because I didn't say a thing to anyone about that. You know what I mean? Like when he sent me the mug, I'm like, wait, did they put that in there? That's the part that kind of freaked me out, like that. And yo, if people could see, okay, you feel that? Whew. That's break time. I get tired of listening for too long. So let's chill for a little bit. Quick little break. Stretch your legs. Get something to drink. And then mosey right back. And let's listen up to the corner of the circle. Let's get started with the next part. Oh my goodness, man. I mean, I posted about him. I couldn't wait. I was like, I'm gonna repost, but I wanted to wait till we did the podcast and then repost because I wanted to make sure we got hype with this. Like, if you could see just the detail in this, like he put a baby elephant on the front of this, bro. Like the detail is in the elephant print is ridiculous. And again, like I said, you know, because when I got, I saw it. You know, you sent me the pictures, I saw it. But when I saw this turn to that, I was like, oh, they're showing off. They're showing off now. You know what I mean? Like that was, you know, I was like, all right, they're in it. You know what I mean? But then I was like, they hit me with a victory lap. When you sent me these, I'm like, they're victory lapping me. They sent me the freaking, you know what I'm saying, the chanclas, and I was, bro.
Yeah, and then that's some investigative work on our end, because we were looking at your Instagram, we were snooping around a little bit. And, I mean, every lifter wants to be comfortable before the lift in competition. So they're going to be in their slides. They want to be comfortable and relaxed. And then when it's game time, they put, you know, the lifting shoes on. So you got to have something to complement your lifting shoes.
I'm not even lying to you. As soon as these came in the mail, I was like, oh, I'm about to stun on these fools so hard in the warm-up room. Because, like, I come with my chanclas, and it's crazy because even my chanclas are J's. Like, everything, I got to be J'd up at all times. I mentioned only J's. So I'm like, you know what, dude? This is going to be that one. And I'm still trying to, I have yet to find a full, because I don't think I haven't looked. Because my first thing, as soon as I got those in, I'm like, you know what? Let me see if I can find an all leather pair of shoes, you know what I mean, of wrestling shoes that I can have made into a pair of J's. That way I would have J's for all of my lifts. That is the absolute hardest thing to find. An all leather pair of wrestling shoes or deadlifting shoes. It's so hard to find.
It's hard.
I know they're out there. But I mean, I'm almost positive I have to find them. I'll have to take them to my resole guy and get them all resold, get them the sole completely swapped out, because they're all older shoes. Like, you know, they'll be like late 70s, early 80s models that I'll have to find. You know what I mean? And it's not, I mean, you can obviously, I mean, leather's gonna last as long as you take care of it, but that rubber is gonna be cashed. So I'm gonna have to find a way to sole swap those bad boys out, and then I'm like, all right, I'll be ready to roll. And you can be like, hey, by the way, I got a pair that I need. You know what? This is all you. You tell me what you think. But that's been, for me, I think that's been the coolest part, is, you know, seeing, you know, the evolution of my just regular old dark black shoe, and you turn it into something so beautiful, like something so undeniable. Like, there's no way that I'm gonna walk anywhere, you know, in the warm-up room. First of all, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna wear them in the warm-up room. I'm gonna wait till I get out on the platform. Like, this is God's honest truth right now. Like, I'm going to, because I mean, I do it. I'm gonna wear my other 3s in the warm-up room, and I am literally changing right before I walk out on the platform. That's when I'm gonna put these bad boys on. They're literally gonna see the light of day one time. Like, bro, let's talk about the listen. I slept on this because I didn't see this because I didn't even say anything. I didn't even know. I didn't even put this in mind. Bro, you painted the vents. You painted the venting on the back of it. What's up? I didn't even see this.
So I gotta be clear with this. So the vents and the front side where the red circles are.
Yes.
I had a hard time trying to figure out where they were because again, we want to make it so reminiscent of the Jordan 3s as closely as possible, but it's a completely different shoe and a different model. And she just came up with the coolest ideas ever. We found that little piece right here where the vents are, and she was telling me that's exactly where the vents are going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing goes with the red circles. Because on the Jordan 3s, if for those listening, there's on the Jordan 3 black cements, there on the eyelets, on the bottom of the shoes with the laces which we start beginning. There's some red eyelets.
Right.
And well, we don't really have too much options as far as eyelets go because when we have the strap here. And it covers up the other eyelets inside. They're not even eyelets. They're just like this, it's like some piece of material that you put the laces through. Or actually, well, these are holes, but it's covered up. So we had to figure out. Exactly.
Time out. I'm pause this way. I'm gonna go get it anyway because that was the one thing that I was missing out on. So if you guys need to use the bathroom or anything like that, I mean, I'm gonna pause it anyway. I'm gonna go run and get the shoe, so then we can talk about that as well. So
awesome.
If you guys need like 20, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. I'm gonna be back in like 30 seconds. All right.
We'll be here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you definitely. I want you to talk about the back for sure. Huh? That was you. This was you.
I didn't do it.
No, because remember, I had a separate idea. I had the vents going somewhere around here, and I had the thing going up this way, and you were the one that's like, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look good.
Okay.
And then eventually we just came up with this, and then you're the one that's just, no, it's got to be like this. With the back of the brush, too.
Say so good.
It's all you.
I'm like nervous about like your song. Like I have 12 songs in my
I don't have any songs.
But it's like, I forgot the lyrics. It's like, I know like the Marvin Gaye album front and back. I'm like, oh shit, how does it start? I know like 10 seconds of it, so I'm just gonna go with that.
I was just thinking, since it's crazy right now, I'm just singing Why Can't We Be Friends? And just keep singing over and over.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Almost. All right, so he's talking about eyelets, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're talking about. For those of you that wonder what he's talking about, let's talk about those bad boys right there.
That's it right there.
So they took this model right here, this beautiful model right here, and they made this. Those eyelets that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. There you
go. They came through with that. Yo, this is the part that I was not paying attention to. This is my first time seeing it. You legit came through with the vents, right? The vents I'm talking about, the little holes right here, people. Yo, flip the script on me, and they came through with it. I am flabbergasted. What in the haberdashery? That is unreal. And again, like he said when he was talking about just, the texture of the shoe and how it's such a thicker sole. Obviously, you see how thick this back sole is.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy thing is how you flip the script and you did it with that's so nasty. What came through? So you literally end up with, I mean, it's literally it's like the same family. It almost looks like the exact same shoe. That's crazy, bro. I'm about to kill the game so heavy. I'm not even joking. I literally have. Oh my gosh, boy! Somebody's son is gonna get killed this next meet. Boy, Jesus.
You want to talk about the thought process?
But yeah, basically with the thought process for me, like as well, you don't know, I'm not a big Jordans fan. I never knew anything about anything Jordan. He's getting me into it. So he told me, we need to make this shoe look exactly like the, Jordan 3. And I was like, okay. So he's coming up with all these mock-ups. I'm like, no, it's not looking right. It's not looking right. So then I finally like, well, the little red dots, well, I just used the back of the paintbrush and sat there and put the red dots. And even right here, if you notice around the shoelaces, we copied the gray part around the shoelaces.
Right.
I just really tried to, every element on the Jordan 3, put it on the Romeo 3s.
Oh,
yeah,
because we complimented that on each other on these shoes. Because I'm more of the sneakerhead. I mean, I'm not the biggest sneakerhead. I mean, we're in SoCal right here, so I wear sandals all the time.
Yeah,
more comfortable that way. But I started getting her into Jordans. We actually bought our first pair of Jordans together too, not too long ago.
Yeah.
But for me, being a diehard Jordan fan, I did my best to make it look like the Jordan 3, and I sent mock-ups to her. And again, she wasn't a sneakerhead to begin with, and she's getting into it now. She was the one putting the brakes on the designs and ideas that I had, and she was the one just checking me like, it looks awkward and weird, and I think the best solution is this, and that's exactly what you have in your hands.
Yeah, there's so many little things that like I was not. Like I said, for me, you have to give credit where credit is due and give detail where detail is due. But for me, the smartest thing, again, like I was saying, some guys, because like some one-on-one, customizers, I talked about the Jumpman and how, it's a black Jumpman. Most customizers straight up, I'm like, all right, if I do the tongue and I do put the Jumpman on, and I want it to look like a 3, they're going to come through with a red Jumpman like that's on the Jordan 3. But the only thing is, it doesn't necessarily match, nor does it, complete the aesthetic when you look at, obviously the black inside, the black cushioning that goes with it. So you have to complement it with the black. And the thing is, the way, because obviously it's not necessarily super, super sheen, which is super, super smart, because it's very, very, if you look at, and again, only really a sneakerhead is somebody that's just really looking for the detail, which we do. That's looking for the detail is going to see like, well, I don't know why it shouldn't be shiny. If you look at a lot of the OG Romeos, that part's kind of shiny. It's a little bit more of a matte finish to it. You know what I'm saying? It absorbs more than it shines. But then when you look at the OG3, that's exactly what you have going.
Yep.
A lot of people let that detail slip through the cracks. You know what I mean? So again, the biggest thing when you have a one of one, those of you out there that are thinking about getting one, obviously you want a good shoe. But here's the thing: this shoe's always going to be the same shoe. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if it's a one of one. So if you're going to get a one of one, you want to get a one of one. I'll be on 100. You're getting a one of one because you like it and you want it to be seen. So if you want it to be seen, the thing that, at least for me, the thing that sometimes kills a one-of-one custom is because it's too shiny. It has too much sheen to it. You know what I mean? So if you do get a matte finish, for me, it's going to absorb the light a little bit more. And you're going to be able to see the textures a lot better because it doesn't have that super shiny, glowy finish to it. With this particular element right here, I want everybody in the grandma to see that there's a Jumpman right here. I don't want there to be a shine on my tongue. You know what I mean? Like, especially when I've been blessed, so I get a lot of like high def pictures taken. When they take the high def picture of my feet, which they do quite often, they need to see that that's happening. You know what I mean? They need to see your logo. Something as simple as making sure that your logo isn't super shiny. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't want that light to bounce off that. You want it, So it was just little things that I know it's like, dude, they just super duper went in. And there were some things I didn't even see. Like, I'll be honest with you, I did not see that venting in the back when I got them. I was pretty much on Christmas mode and just throwing them on my feet. So I really didn't pay attention to it, And the thing that I will say that I appreciated the most with this particular shoe. And again, and I'm not even really big with them, but I always like the option of having a shoe that's so dope, so complimentary, that if I chose to lace swap, that it would look just as fire with a lace swap than with black shoes. So if I decided I wanted to go red, there's enough red on this shoe that, one, it doesn't necessarily make it bloody and it doesn't drown out anything, but those red laces would definitely look like it made the shoe glow a little bit more. If I chose, like, you know what, maybe if I go a matte gray, I should say a wolf gray with this one, it's gonna look absolutely perfect because there's just enough gray on this shoe that I'm good to go. Or if I decide to stay with my basic black, you know what, it's okay because it's literally complementing all the other elements of the shoe. It's such a beautifully detailed shoe. And then finally, obviously for me, it was the absolute unmatched detail of the Nike Air and that Jordan symbol that you put in the back. I got a lot of these, man. I've got a lot of them. Bro, this is by hand, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? It could be it could be stencil, it could be straight freehand, but the fact that this is done by hand, it is done in such a nice way. I mean, and I feel bad saying this, bro, but you don't get a Nike Air from Nike that it's this crispy. I'm not joking. I'm literally looking at a closet full of them, and I'm like looking for an example. Like, all right, I know that I have a couple of shoes that have the Nike Air actually painted on the back, and they're not this crispy. They're not this sharp. Like the swoosh is not that sharp. It's never that sharp. So I mean, it's those little things, man. I mean, and again, for every person, it's different. But because this particular form of shoe means so much to me, I'm just like, I'm absolutely in love with it. But like I said, I never in a million years thought that I would have a matching pair of slides to go with it. Like, you know what I mean? And it's one thing, like, you get slides to wear that I'm like, bro, I don't even know if I want to wear these slides. I mean, and this honestly might be one of those things where, like, you know what? I'm going to go kill a game with these bad boys, and these things are probably going to be going into a plexiglass box. Like, they're that beautiful. I mean, it's just, you know, it's, if you can't appreciate the work, man, you're blind, you know? So I'm just so happy, you know what I mean? Like, I'm happy to have them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's like, there's so many things that can be said about it, you know? I mean, so, I mean, I know people come to you guys a lot. Like, so when was that moment you're like, you know what, man, let's really push this? Like, was there a defining moment where you're like, you know what, we're good at what we're doing? You know what I mean? Like, you know, what was I guess I'll ask you this. What was like your first joint project that you guys did together? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, well, Nalani, that's right. Nalani. So this hasn't really been put out yet.
Yeah.
Well, actually, talk about your heels, definitely.
So we definitely do bespoke, but I also started my own Instagram where I only customize heels.
Okay.
So I really, because there's honestly nobody in the market like that, and I know. And Albert was telling me there's a lot of people who are like, dang, I would love to wear a pair of heels, but if they would have this design on it or my name on it or whatever. So I'm like, I can do that. I know how to do that, you know, and I'm really trying to get into it. And eventually what I want to do is make heels from scratch.
Oh, okay.
But for our senior show, I was like, you know what? I really want to debut my heels. And he's like, all right, let's do that. And then he also made a custom pair of Jordan 1s to match my heels. So we have a Nalani Jordan. So we have a Jordan 1 and a heel that matches. And then what we were going to do is, well, there's a really big market for that. Nobody has a custom heels and custom Jordans to match. So there's couples I know that would love to have.
Oh, I can think of a million right now. That that would be fire. That would be super dope. Like, oh my gosh, yes.
So after having that idea, we're like, so let's make an Instagram for just shoes and Instagram for heels. And every once in a while, we'll collaborate and say, okay, we made these two shoes to look like for couples. So
yeah, that's her marketing mindset there too. So
like, look, listen, man, I gotta feel like, hey, you may. I'm like, hey, man, I need a job, guys, help me, because killing it, man. So like so you're at a point now where, I mean, you know, you're able, I mean, it's not that you weren't able to have that freedom of creativity, but you really seem like, you know, the more you guys have done it, the more the creative juices start flowing, and you really, you know, there is no ceiling. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, wherever the mind can go, wherever the mind can take you, wherever the passions can lift you, man, you're willing to go, you're able to go. I mean, I that's just, I don't know, man. I'm trying not to brag on you to your face, and you know, but I just it's like to not be appreciative of what you guys have really put I mean, I'm looking at this shoe and I'm like, you know what? I'm just one person of many that have been, blessed by y'all's talent. You know what I mean? And for someone to be, and I think that's the cool part. I mean, for me is that it's like I've been blessed by the talent, and you know what I mean, and yet still I know that there's tons of people that have been blessed by the same talent, but part of me feels like I'm the only one still. Like that's dope. You know what I mean? And you can't. I mean, and I think that reflects on you guys more as people than it does really as a business. You know what I mean? Like the ability to make people feel like, you know what, dude, this is this dude really does not care who else is doing anything else in the world right now. He's focused on me. You know what? This girl really does not care what's going on right now. She's more concerned to make sure that my feet look fly. Like it's like that personal touch, that personal feeling, and honestly, that speaks well about you guys, obviously as a unit, and about your ability to really hone in into the whole aspect of communication. Because at least for me, that whole the whole process of communication, and I mean, you know, and I try not to be pushy, you know what I mean? But I'm like, hey, if we have video or anything, let me know because I want to make sure I give people steps for steps. Even though it's like, hey, man, when we get ready to drop this, I'm going to do a countdown as well, you know what I mean, to kind of coincide with what you guys are doing, you know what I mean? Let me, and it wasn't really like, oh, let's drive business their way. It was like, you know what, man, I need people to know that I got a dope set of people that are killing the game. You know what I mean? I was really, 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 really excited, and so it's, I literally the build up from the time that I started talking with you guys to the time that it literally felt like a shoe release. You know what I mean? And so I'm not lying to you. I had every intention of treating it like I'm Nike app. I am sneakers app right now, and you are going to get the opportunity to see my shoe. By the way, I'm going to do a countdown. In 30 minutes, you get to see the flyest shoe that you've ever seen on any lifter. I can promise you that. I mean, bro, and I was like, can you guess what it is? I had like 75, 80 people like, oh, I bet you you did cheetah print. Oh, I bet you did this. I bet you this. Not one person said they bet it was Jordan 3. And people know how I get down. Yeah. Like, all right, bet. And so when it hit, oh my gosh, bro, I thought like, all right, cool. Like, bro, I can't believe that. That's sick. You're sick. Who would do that? I can't believe you did. That's crazy. Like, hey, man, listen, man. You know what I mean? Then you can I can flex like, I mean, I got people, bro. You got to have people. You got to know people. You know what I mean? So I think that was the cool thing because, I mean, for just us, even for 20, 30 minutes there, I was able to be like, you know what, man? I got the flyest pair of kicks in the world. You cannot tell me otherwise. You know what I mean? And I have you guys to thank for that. I don't know, man. I have to. You have to give credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? Like you guys, you knocked it out of the park, and clearly, you both come from such a solid foundation. You know what I mean? Haven't had enough failures, haven't had enough motivation. You know what I mean? You've had literally the idea of failure and the idea of kind of like you said, like, oh, you're just like your dad. You almost use as a weapon against you, but you end up flipping that, turning that into motivation, and ripping and running. You know what I'm saying? And really, it coming from such an awesome, coming from such an awesome background where most people are like, I'm good where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like I'm good where I'm at. I can just repeat this cycle, but nah. I'm gonna write my own checks. I'm gonna clock in my own hours. I'm gonna make my own way. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, yes. the cool thing for me is, what I'm saying, as a 41-year-old man, seeing these young bucks, I'm like, listen, that you don't see that spirit, man. Not in young people your age, man. You don't see that anymore. Like, I mean, there's such a high sense of entitlement. There's such an overwhelming sense of complacency. There is no drive. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like people just accept where they're at, and that's it. You know what I mean? So to see you guys where you're at, I mean, with such a huge upside. And I mean, and I know that you and I, we had kind of talked a little bit. He goes, yeah, when I mean, I've had businesses that failed. I've had things that that didn't work out the way that I wanted them to. Like you've you've dealt with some L's, some life L's, some those type of L's that don't make you not want to get back up. Like, dog, is this even worth it? You know what I mean? Like, to have experienced that at your level in life, you know what I mean, and to kind of dust yourself off, like, all right, you know what though, I can't accept defeat, can't do it. Like, I'm not built that way, and you keep rolling, that's heat. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's not by accident that we're having this conversation. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's not by chance that we just happen across it. Like, I believe this was supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer in, like, this, hard work begets hard work. You know what I mean? And, my old coach used to always say to me, if you put out good content, if you put out good creation, if you put out quality, people come to it. People find it. You know what I mean? And you definitely put out some absolute bangers. You know what I mean? And, and I mean, I feel like as long as you guys keep doing that, I honestly, I don't see anybody stopping you, man. Like, it's one thing to have a pair of red bottoms, but have a pair of red bottoms that are for you and you only. And have your mans come around the corner like, wait, did they just lay some Balenciagas the same with the red? Who does that? But it can be, anything can be done. You know what I mean? With the creativity and ability and drive. You know what I mean? And I look forward to seeing what you guys do. I mean, it's no secret. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna figure something else out. Like, I'm like, oh, I got a pair of shoes. What am I gonna do with these? Oh, I guess I'm gonna send it to BeSPOKE again. Then be like, oh, LS is here. Here he goes again. So you're like, hey man, you'll probably know when I'm like, hey, so you guys want to do another podcast, dude? What do you want? So yeah, but I cannot. One, I can't thank you guys enough for this conversation, and I'm sorry that I took up so much of it. Just from my excitement, because I'm inspired, dude. I am completely inspired. Yo, this is awesome. It is awesome, and like to see this.
You're definitely saying something it's really important to me, because I'm not saying I inspire anybody. I never saw myself as that one person that people look up to. But sometimes it's hard when you take a lot of L's. It's tough to get back up. And there's 3 words that, let's see if I can remember, because I remember we had like a discussion with my professors. There's 3 words that describe me. It's empowering, focused, and consistency.
Let's go.
Empowering is important to me because there's no such thing as bad teams. It's just bad leaders.
Yeah.
So I do my best to be a leader. That's what I really strive myself to become. And, you have to do your best and be the best at all times. And if you're down, you can't show that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's contagious. But it's really difficult to, for people in that position to really lift yourself up. And I forgot who told me or where I heard this from, but the one thing that motivates a motivator is tell that person that you motivated them. It's for you to tell us that we're motivating and inspiring you is an extra push for us to keep going, because I've had many L's. We've had our ups and downs just in the span of 2 years of working together, and I've had major L's. You touched upon it a little bit. I've started this, my business 3-4 times, ups and downs. There's just so much going on. I've went from, I've been pushed in the deep end where literally my first clients ever customizing shoes was a man, and such an honorable man. His name is Michael Lorenzen. He's from Anaheim, Fullerton, California, not too far from me, and he's a pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. One of the hardest workers I've ever met. Very humble guy, and he was the first person I've ever done a custom pair of shoes or baseball cleats ever.
Yeah.
And for him to invite me out to his home and to his place where he stayed in Arizona, where they do the spring training, I went from weekly in the springtime, Monday through Thursday, school, Thursday night, hop on a plane to Arizona, and Sunday or Monday morning at 5 a.m, come back to LAX or Long Beach Airport and go back to Cal State Long Beach to go to school. And that went on for 3-4 weeks. In a row at a time for spring training, and I was just so tired, but I wanted to keep going. And then all of a sudden to have it come crashing down, losing everything, losing myself, losing my mind, and then just building up again. There's so many stories that I've heard, but there's always the cliche of like, you fail, but then you come up and you stay up on top. That mountain that you're on top can come crashing down
without a doubt,
over and over again. not just once, but twice and 3 times, and it had to happen so many times. And to the point where at my lowest low, probably 3 years ago, I ended up finding myself even in a mental hospital because I had clients, I had Instagram influencers that I was working with before, I had baseball players, I had professional boxers reaching me out for work all at the same time while I still had to write an art history report.
Yeah.
And I had to do a presentation on an art piece, and I couldn't please everybody, and it took such a mental toll on me.
I can't imagine.
You have to come back. You have to come back from that.
Well, what in you? I want to know because I know there's somebody out there that's listening. Like, you know what? I've been there. I know that feeling. Like, what is it? What was it? You know, what is it now? Like, that's in you. What is in you to keep you going? You know what I mean? Like, is there? You know, was there a point where, like, you know what? I know that I'm down, but I gotta go. I gotta get it. I gotta keep going. Like, it is what inside you, you know, inspires you to keep going. That switch that you have to turn to keep rolling.
That's a very difficult answer or it's a difficult thing to answer because I think it's just always in you and in everybody. We just have to pull it out of each other somehow. And every time you take that L, it's a different reason. You always have that why. You always want to be the best that you can. You always want to be self-sufficient. The beginning, when I started my business, it was by accident in the sense of I never expected to do my first shoe for a baseball player.
Right.
But it came to a time and point where my parents were kind of struggling financially.
Yeah.
And I was getting financial aid, and I was covering all of it in the beginning. But then the tax man that was doing the taxes for my parents went MIA. I remember they were looking for the person at his usual spot.
Yeah.
Everything's gone. And they just never got back to him. And the IRS, can't remember exactly the full details, but they were coming down hard on my parents. Nothing illegal or anything bad on my parents' side, but the guy was just, I don't know, either manipulating stuff and just never was seen again. I couldn't afford school anymore. I was down in my last semester. When it happened, my financial aid was revoked, and my dad looked at me and said, "You're still going to go to school. Don't worry about it. I'm going to pay for school." And it hurt so much that he had to take out $3,500, which isn't a lot. I know there's other schools, like private schools, that charge more, but $35 from someone that grew up, you know, not too far from the hood from here.
Yeah.
It's hard. And it hurt me so much that, okay, my dad's already struggling to, you know, not just struggling, but breaking his back for us. But to take an extra $3,500 out of his business and his pocket to pay for my school, it hurt so much.
Oh, yeah.
And at that point, I still didn't have any financial aid coming in. And my partner then, we talk now and then. We kind of had our differences, but he's the reason why I started in the first place too. So I will always love and respect him because of that. He gave this opportunity. He's like, "Look, man, I know you're struggling to, you know, for school, but is it possible for you to take a semester off and, you know, to see where this goes?" And for me, it's like, I didn't have anything to lose. I'm only here for one more semester. I can't afford it next one. This is going to be my last semester, and I'm done if I don't do anything. So I remember going to what's at Cal State Long Beach. It's called Brotman Hall, where all the financial offices, you know, enrollment services is. I remember going there. I was actually going to submit my application for financial aid. I know I wasn't going to get it, but you still need all the documents so you can get, you know, you can pick classes for next semester. But I remember going, there's no point in me doing this because I'm not going to be able to afford it. And so I just went, as soon as I got to the desk clerk, it just hit me. I said, "Where's your leave of absence forms? I need to sign one up now because I don't think I'm going to be coming back for the next semester." So I went from not being able to afford school to taking this leap of faith. I had, at that point, what else is there to lose?
Right.
And I had to figure it out. And I've been so lucky and blessed because I know so many artists, starving artists that are dying to be in the position that I am, because all of a sudden I got flown out to Arizona to the Cincinnati Reds facility, and even the security guard that greeted me said, who are you here with? I'm looking for Michael Lorenz, and I customize his shoes. And even he saw me. He's like, "Oh, you're the one that customizes shoes. You're the shoe designer guy. Cool. Everybody wants to talk to you." You know, I got so lucky and so blessed, and I didn't deserve it because there's so many harder with people out there that have so much less that deserve the shot. But I really believed it was my time, and for me, I was at rock bottom because I couldn't go to school. So
Right.
I took it. I made the best of it. That first year, I was able to meet so many amazing baseball players. I was able to meet Michael Lorenzen, the most honorable man I know in the league, and that's not to mention if anyone's listening in the league, every single one of them are amazing.
Right.
Yasiel Puig from the Dodgers invited me into his home, allowed me to stay into his place while he was playing with the Dodgers to help him out with his charity, to come up with his logo and brand, and branded him. Joey Votto, Michael's teammates in the Cincinnati Reds, cut me a $3,000 check to customize 8, 9, 10 pairs. That literally saved me, allowing me to go to school. Julio Urias, pitcher from the Dodgers, Jabari Blash, at the time was playing for the Padres and went to the Yankees. Albert Pujols from the Angels.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but all of them were Angels to me.
That's awesome, dude. Shout out to those boys, man.
Shout out to all of them. And there's so many other players. There's so many boxers. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Canelo Alvarez. Oh, man, there's so many boxers and so many amateurs coming up, and so many baseball players. Marcus Green, that was playing for the Padres in the minor leagues, he's giving me so much, advice and just how to go with things too. Funny stories that I got from them too. But if it wasn't for any of them, I wouldn't be in the position that I was here. I went from not being able to afford school to being able to afford school the next year because I took a year off. Afford school, buy my own desktop, get supplied with my airbrushes and paints, and just be able to work off of that and be able to pay off school. So,
I will have to argue that while you may not have felt that you deserved it, you may think you didn't deserve it. I believe, my friend, that you worked to deserve it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll be the first to admit half the things that I have in my life, I know for a fact I do not deserve it. I know the blessings that I have, I do not deserve in any form or fashion. So I feel like it serves as this motivation to really work as hard as I can to deserve the things that I know I don't deserve. I do believe, I do believe that good things happen to good people. I do believe, you know what I mean, good things happen to people that work hard, just like bad things happen. But I do believe when you're in a position and at least in your heart of hearts, like, I don't deserve this. Despite how hard I'm working, I don't deserve it. I believe it almost serves as this extra sense of motivation for you to push just a little bit harder. You know what I mean? Maybe spend one more hour putting in the work. One more hour turns into 2, 2 turns into 3. The next thing you know, I spent a whole night. The sun's coming up again. You know what I mean? And you know what? For some reason, you don't find a reason to complain. You just, let's press reset. Let's start all over again. Let's do some more. Let's keep going. Let's go some more. It is my belief, just based off of just talking to you and getting to know you over, this hour and change, that you're the type of man that works to deserve the stuff that maybe he doesn't feel like he deserves in the first place. And it is my belief that you deserve it, by all means. You know what I mean? Because I do believe that the type of energy that you put out, the type of energy that you leave in this universe, the type of blessings that you give other people, it is definitely repaid to you. You know what I mean? And, you have a hardworking family. You come from a hardworking family. You come from a loving family. Bro, that apple doesn't fall far from the tree, dude. You know what I mean? So that's manifested, and that's really bled into your work, man. Because like I said, I mean, I've got enough shoes. I've got enough customs. I have so many shoes, it's ridiculous. And these feel just as special, if not like the most special pair of shoes that I've ever had. Ever. Just off of this feel alone, you know what I mean? But I won't front. I have heat. And I mean, like, if you were asking right now, like, oh, would you rock your Red Octobers, or would you rock? No, I would definitely, like, I would literally leave my Red October Yeezys in the box, and I would rock these Romy 3. I would rock these Romy 3s so quick. There's something about them, man. So I mean, and that's you guys. That's what you put into the work. You know what I mean? And it's not by accident that, that professional athletes and sneakerheads, reach out to you. The work does the speaking for itself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then getting to meet you guys and hearing your story and seeing the passion and just seeing how much you guys care for one another and literally seeing like how you guys like, you know, even how you guys want to while you're talking, like, bro, I can, you know what I mean? Like literally we got a think tank, you know what I'm saying? We have a think tank and we have a soldier right here just going, you know what I mean? But then I feel like, you know what? My hands hurt, man. I don't really feel like doing this. It's your turn. You're up. You know what I mean? Like, I know, I feel like it can be done, like, and it can be picked up right where you left off. Like, that doesn't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, chemistry is a blessing. Some people have to work at it. You know what I'm saying? But most people, if you have the chemistry, that's something that naturally happens. That's a blessing, man. And I believe you guys are blessed to have each other. And I believe your work has turned out to be such a blessing to so many of us. Because again, let's be 100. You know what I'm saying? This is a very selfish thing. You know what I'm saying? That I'm doing. Like, yo, I want you to make my shoes, make them look better than everybody else's. All right, cool. Here's my money. You know what I mean? And you're able to take that and make it into something so beautiful, so amazing that I want the world to see. You know what I'm saying? It started off as something just for me, and now I want everyone to see. That's a reflection of the work that you put in. You know,
it's a lot of work. It's
a lot of work,
a lot of sacrifice, and you know, believe it or not, that's the surface. That we're just scratching the surface of there because able to afford school, then having some difficult relationships with my partner, lost a lot of clients, and just had to climb up again and start from scratch. I recently had an Instagram. I mean, I never really cared about the numbers, but the business, it makes sense now. I had to let go of an Instagram that had 16,000 followers, but we're just so used to working from scratch again.
Yeah, man.
We can't be afraid to start over.
Nah, man. Like, I mean, fear will keep people stuck in the same place. I mean, especially in this. I mean, fear will have you. You know how it is. Fear will get you eaten alive in this game. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? You can't be afraid to take those leaps of faith. You can't be afraid to take a risk here and there. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, one must be calculated. You know what I mean? One must be intelligent about the decisions that one makes. And at the same time, one must be, you know, you got to be aware of what's going on. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I mean, and I know I'm not telling you guys something that you don't already know. Maybe there's some people out there that are thinking of maybe starting their own business.
No, but it's important to hear everybody's perspective.
Like,
it's very important.
Like, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to get to the top, and there's so much room at the top for everyone. That's the dope part. You know what I mean? There's absolute room at the top for everyone to eat. It's the biggest plate. It is. There's so much disposable income in the game right now. There are so many people that want this and want that. People's wants have far exceeded their needs at this point in life. So in terms of the golden plate, there's so much room for everybody to eat.
Absolutely. And shout out to our one of our soon-to-be partners too, JR. He customizes the boxing trunks for the professional boxers. We met him with Canelo and Ryan Garcia. He said the exact same thing, that there's, you know, obviously there's you have your trade secrets, you do what you do, but there's plenty of room at the top, and there's no reason why you should, you know, neglect your fellow entrepreneurs that are doing the same thing as you. You got to share what you got, because they push you and you push them.
Exactly. And as soon as you become crabs in a bucket, everybody dies, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't pull somebody down for you to get yourself up, because you're still going to stay down there. So, I mean, you know what I mean? So for me, I mean, at least for me, you know, with my platform that I have, I'm like, dude, people need to know what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? And honestly, you know, as many of these things that I've had done, I've never reached out to like, yo, man, I want to get you guys on my podcast. Like, I just, you know what I mean? But like I said, maybe, like I said, I don't know that any of this has happened by accident. This was supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Us having this conversation is supposed to happen. Me to be able to see, and for those of the people out there that see the work that you guys do, for them to be able to see the faces and the artistry and the drive behind it. Like, I mean, it's one thing to see the work, but to see the artist that does the work, that changes the game. That's a game changer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, bro, I thought Tinker Hatfield was a black dude this whole time. And then I was like, wait, what? Let's go. You know what I mean? It changed things for me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I am very, very impressed, number one, with who you are as people. You know what I mean? Like, your work completely speaks for itself. You know what I mean? You know, even as I speak to you guys, I'm having a hard time watching you guys and not looking at the shoe. Like, that's it's a beautiful thing, man. And again,
that's
I
good.
think
We did our job right then.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think it makes me appreciate the shoe that much more, knowing knowing the man and the woman behind the shoe. You know what I mean? Like, how many people have Picasso paintings that have never met Picasso? You know what I mean? Like, you know, like tons of people go to the Sistine Chapel, but they've never seen Da Vinci. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, I am more than impressed with what I've received in return. You know what I mean? I'm far more impressed with the people that I have the chance to get to meet, and knowing y'all's story. You know what I mean? And honestly, like I said, dude, like hearing the passion in your voice. You know what I'm saying? Hearing the recalled pain. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, bro, that lights a fire in my butt. I'm telling you straight up, man to man, that lights a fire in me. You know what I mean? And to see you, to hear and see you bounce back. You know what I'm saying? Bigger, better, stronger. You know what I'm saying? And more importantly, with your mental health, you know what I'm saying? You know, that is huge, because that goes so unchecked, that goes so unnoticed sometimes, man. And see you bounce back as strong as you have, man. I salute you, brother. I salute you. That means the world to me, dude.
I have to salute her, because if we're ever at the dinner table together and someone gets our order wrong, I don't go and ask. She's the one that's always, you better get your ass back here. You need to get your order right. She's the one. I'm the one hiding behind her, just like, sure? That's not that important.
so you figured out the role already. Like, listen, I'm a bag back. I got this right. I'm gonna hold this back end down. You got, yeah, man. I mean, and that's the thing. It's dope to do things alone. I will be the first to say it, man. But it's so much better together. It is so much better together. You know what I mean? And you know, when I'm telling you, bro. I'm loving you guys right now, man. It's just, it makes my heart happy. You know what I'm saying? It makes me smile to see you guys smile. You guys look like you're happy. You look like, you know what I mean? You've got a goal in mind, and you know what I mean? And it can't be, you know what I mean? There's no Bonnie without Clyde. There's no Clyde without Bonnie. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's what it's about at the end of the day, man. It's you and yours taking on whomever, whenever, however, you know what I mean, and coming out victorious. You know, so I mean, I salute you both. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, man.
I salute her. I salute her, because she's definitely the mentally strong one. I mean, if I have to give myself any kind of attribute, it's just the patience. But she's strong. She is strong, mentally strong. Nothing affects her. Nothing welts her. Nothing gets to her. I mean, there's some things I get her, but it's not in the sense of like she'll back down. It's more like, oh hell no, like, I'm gonna come back tenfold.
That's what it's about.
I mean, even the way she grew up, she was raised. I mean, right. I mean, I want to hear her talk about it, because people have to hear this. It's like,
do it. I'm waiting. Like, she's been laying in the cut. I'm like, all right, when are we gonna hear it? I need to hear these things.
Yeah, I definitely would say, from life experiences, especially I would have to say my aunt. My aunt was my strength for me. She had cancer 3 times, and my sophomore year in high school, I discovered I had a brain tumor. So she taught me, you know, you have a brain tumor, but it's not, it's affecting your health, but you need to move forward. She even told me, don't tell people, you know, don't have people pity you. You need to work 10 times harder. You need to work, you know, even though you're sick and you have something going against you, nothing's wrong with you. Because, you know, she said people, you know, want to pity you and say, oh, she's dying, you know, look at you as a dying person. And for me, I didn't tell anybody all through high school. I'm in remission now, so thank God. But ever since then, that's honestly it's a constant battle for me. And even my parents too. It's just like, failure is just not an option. You know, just feeling sorry for yourself is just not an option. You can't dwell on things, you know, excuse me. And trust me, that's not the only thing I've been through. I mean, I've been through my family suing us for money because of, you know, estates and stuff. And it's just like, it's crazy how people turn on you at your lowest. So for me, I've always had to just be strong for myself. Like, even my parents are like, even when we're dead and gone, all you got is you. You need to, you know, protect yourself and be in other things. Because I'm a woman, people are like, that's a a check mark against you. You need to stand up and, be yourself. Tell him I could do the same thing that man can do.
Exactly.
And not even the same thing he could do, I could do it 10 times better.
Okay.
So,
okay, let it be known.
Exactly. So, hey, that's kind of why people see me, or like Albert says, I gotta stay strong, and I stay strong for him when we're at like right now. COVID-19 has really put a step back on our business, and we even started our business during COVID-19.
In the current climate right now. Too.
Yeah, and the climate, and we just graduated, and people are saying on the news this is the worst job market since the recession. It's just like, all right, you know what, that may be the case, but for us, that's fine. The nooks and crannies in between this thing. People are at home bored, wanting to buy shoes, wanting to customize them. That's really push our business. So that's what we're just, failure is just not an option, and if we do fail, okay, we learn from it. Let's go.
I feel that.
Let's try it again.
Look at y'all, man. Man, listen, you almost have me crying over here. Chill out.
Every time I hear that, I mean, she doesn't say that much because she's not the type of person to talk about herself at all.
Yeah.
But I think it's important sometimes too, even when our classes for our senior show at our art school. I think it was really important for some students to really hear, because it was a hectic time when we were graduating, not just because of the COVID thing and graduation being canceled, but putting up our senior show put a lot of strain because we had to organize our own show, go to the venue and stuff, and on top of that, finish the projects. A lot of people were folding down, but the people that she connected with that same story, it gets me every time, and she is definitely the backbone of our company here. She's the strength, she's the power, and if there's ever a time where I don't have if I need inspiration, I just have to look over my shoulder and she's there.
That's what's up.
And without a doubt, I know she's exactly what I needed at the right time. And
that's what it's about, man. That's a blessing, dude.
So far, amazing.
That's an absolute blessing. I don't but I mean, y'all got me choking up over here. I'm like, yeah, keep talking. Let me get myself together.
It's cool too, because another thing that I want to say, because she just told you about her medical history and stuff. If I ever wake up and I came back home like, man, I just had a shitty day, I just have to look at her. I'm like, what the hell am I talking about? Right. She's been carrying this with her without telling anybody, and she didn't tell me, again, like she said, she doesn't really tell anybody. She didn't tell me when we first met. She didn't, she didn't have to tell me, oh, hi, I'm Melania, I have this.
Yeah.
Eventually it came out, and then for me to realize she went through this through high school, through college, all 4 years of it without telling anybody, and it didn't hold her back, because we definitely had shitty days. It did not hold her back. So now I have to look back, I'm like, am I really having a shitty day? I don't think so.
I mean, it definitely makes you think, but then that speaks testaments to her strength, because again, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Aunt. That is not who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not defined by one thing. You're so much more than one thing. You know what I mean? And to be honest, would you be the same person without? You know what I mean? Would you have the strength without? And that's the thing. I mean, honestly, based off of how you are, you probably would still be as strong as you are. You know what I mean? But I believe that it adds texture to us as human beings. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's cool. This is one thing. Is it a strike against me, or is it 2 steps forward? Because I'm well aware of what I'm capable of.
Gives you a little flavor. Gives you a little flavor.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm a firm believer. Again, nothing happens by accident. You guys been together, it's supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Because again, where one may fall short, where one may you know what, man, I might struggle with my mental strength right now because I got a lot going on. And I know when I get to this particular point and I have a lot of different things pulling me in 50 different directions, you know what? Sometimes it might be a little overwhelming because, again, it's a lot of different elements pulling on one person. But when I have another person next to me that is just as strong as I am, that brings such mental strength, that brings such mental stability, that brings such positivity into the room, I can face the world, and I'm good with that. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, anybody that doesn't have you gotta, like, it's cool to be one, man, but it's dope to have a 1-2. Because, man, I'm saying, like, you can jab, but when you jab, you come across to the overhand left, that's a knockout every time. So, like, to have a 1-2 is so, for me at least, it's so much better, You know what I mean? Just than being by yourself. You know, and I do believe that, you know, you guys being together is supposed to happen. I do believe that you found each other because you were supposed to. You know what I mean? And I do believe you guys are facing, like, you know, in terms of having a business, a young business. You know what I mean? Like, the dope thing is, it can't get any worse. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
True.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's start this in the middle of an epidemic. What? Okay, cool. We got a pandemic popping. All right, cool. You know what? It's all right, guy, because we're gonna get our degrees. Wait a minute, no graduation. All right, that's cool too. You know, it's just like anything negative that can happen. You know what I mean? Has happened. You know what I mean? There's nowhere to go but up. You know what I'm saying? And then when we look back on this particular moment in history, you know what I mean? Yeah, and you're sitting back chilling. You might be, you know what I mean, like, you know, sitting at the table, just kind of like, you know, working on, you know, a pair of shoes or whatever. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh my God, remember back in 2020? How crazy is that? You know what I mean? Like, actually, let me put this one up. Let me get one of our 12 assistants to come finish this up. Like, you know what I mean? You know, like, exactly. At least in my head, that's how I was thinking. Like, you know, it's gonna be so dope. Like 10, 15 years from now, when I'm telling my kids and my 4 sisters about that one time that I was so financially strapped from COVID, like, it's. I'm a firm believer in, you are the energy. You can be the energy that you want. You can be the energy that you want to create. You can create, you can create your own reality. You can create your own surroundings, you know what I mean, just by what you put out into the universe, man. And I believe you guys are putting out some heat, you know what I mean? And again, if the shoe is just an indicator of what you guys do and who you guys are as human beings, man, I'm glad I get to, you know what I'm saying, keep tabs on you and see like what's popping, because I'm so excited. I'm telling you straight up, guys. I'm so excited for what you guys have in the future, for sure. You know what I mean? And if I can ever help, you know what I mean? Like, you know where I'm at. You know how to reach me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I will shout you. I will shout your products. I will shout your services from the mountaintop. I'm not only I'm not only a fan, but I'm a client. You know what I mean? And that is huge to me. You know what I mean? And the fact that you guys are dude, I'm just here. I'm just here.
Yeah, man. Same goes to you. I mean, professionally, we're both graphic designers.
Mm-hmm.
We're marketing. We're advertisers.
Mm-hmm.
If you need any help, we're more than welcome to
I
contact us anytime if you want to chat like
that.
this and inspire people and each other, motivate each other. That's what we're here to do.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. So here we get to, before we wrap up, we get to the questions. And you've had plenty of time to think about these questions. Yeah. No, the funny thing is, when I started talking about the questions, I literally watched her body language. As soon as I started talking about it, just, here we go. You know what I mean? So you've had time to think. So the first question is very simple. It is, who is on your Rushmore? Who are 4 people? It could be art, it could be family, it could be whomever, but who are the 4 people on your Mount Rushmore?
I think there's one we can both kind of throw up on there and agree. Or at least one I want to throw out there. Again, her introducing me to so much cool stuff, and sharing her personality, her characteristic, and her culture with me. She got me into a lot of R&B. Okay. I didn't know. I thought I knew something about R&B, but
you did.
Yeah, I did. Let's be honest. Just knowing Inner City Blues by Marvin Gaye and just having it on a repeat does not mean R&B. True. You don't. But she got me to listen to the whole album of what's going on. Mm-hmm. And if I had to put anyone on there on the Mount Rushmore, Marvin Gaye has to be up there, because I loved his music, but she really got me to really know who he is. I have to put him up there.
No, that's my favorite album of all time. I know it front and back.
That album.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy that album is not on more people's GOAT. Like, it is one of the, if not the greatest, at the very least R&B album of all time. It is literally it's literally like you take the world as it is at that particular point in time and you just open it up, and it's just song by song by song. I salute you for that one. Marvin Gaye is number 1 on your list. Okay. We got 3 more. What's up? Who else we have going?
What you got?
I think for me.
Wait, no, we have separate lists.
Oh,
is it separate?
It's a separate list.
I kind of stole one from her. I'm sorry. I probably stole one from her.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so my second one would have to be. I'll give you a little story about this one too. This won't take long, but I think it's so important for us to start reading. We were taught that from like elementary, middle school, and high school.
It's fundamental.
I hated reading. I never read, and I just started reading probably when I had my lowest low, coming out of the hospital and going back to school and picking up myself from scratch. The reason why I say scratch is because I got that phrase from a book called "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins. If you're not familiar with that, David Goggins is one of the most inspiring people I've known. He's not a fictional person. He's real life, and it's crazy. You can follow his Instagram. I read his book, and the worst hand anybody can have growing up with a really shitty father, shitty, everything, and just not knowing what he wanted to do. And what really resonated with me is just, and that phrase that I got, that mountain could come crashing down below your feet, multiple times, not just once. I got it from him. Former Navy SEAL. He actually had the record for the most pull-ups in 24 hours. Somebody recently beat him, someone that he knows. Really inspiring guy, and I love his book, and I recommend that book to everybody because it's labeled as a self-help book, but you just really check yourself. You look at yourself, and you really get to evaluate what's your strengths, what's your weaknesses, and what you really need to focus on. And it taught me to be patient and reevaluate myself a little bit more, and gave me a plan of how to be better personally and how to do things better, with the world. So David Goggins would be my second person up there. Yeah, hands down, David Goggins would be up there. Man, it's really tough to follow those up.
It is, man.
That's a great question. Can we split them up? Maybe if I have a little bit of time to think.
Yeah, we go two with you, and then all right, we'll do your first two.
Cool.
Okay, I would definitely have to say Audrey Hepburn on mine, yes. Because she's literally the style icon I follow. She's very classy and sophisticated.
Very classy.
I'm super fan of her, and then not only that, was she part of the UNICEF. She was a big advocate. Just her whole backstory. I love her. Like, she could do no wrong to me. I would say my second person would probably have to be that is hard. You took mine.
I did take yours. I'm sorry.
You know that you can have the same. It's fine. You don't have
to.
Okay, I'd have to say a second one for me, Marvin Gaye. My dad. That's my dad's favorite album. He played it over and over again. And the older I got, the more I understand. Shoot, the song "What's Going On."
Yes.
So relevant today.
So very relevant today.
So I mean, he just speaks volumes. Marvin Gaye would be my second one. All right, there's your next two.
I'll give you an easy one, and it's like it could be a scapegoat for most people, but I mean for all of us, we definitely would understand. I think my Mount Rushmore would have to be my mom, not just because she's my mother, obviously, but as a symbol of where you came from and who you are and the person that literally, raised you. And I know that not everybody is lucky to have a mother, but there's always that person that's that mother figure. Yeah, for sure. And my mom was just, I can't thank her enough because even though my dad was the one working his ass off, my mom was the one that did her best to, say, "Oh, I'm sorry your dad couldn't make it to your game, your wrestling matches or anything like that, but I'm here." She had to deal with my dumb ass growing up for sure.
Oh man! Shout out to all the moms out there. Good
Shout
Lord.
out to all the moms,
especially the ones that had boys. Good Lord, we are idiots.
Hands down. I mean, I can't disagree with that at all.
Oh man!
So my mom would just have to be up there for sure. I owe everything to her, and the kind of person I am is exactly the way she raised me to be. Thankful for everybody, very patient, loving, and caring. Definitely on the emotional side. I get emotional, and I get that from my mom, but I have to have my mom up there, hands down.
That's what's up. You got to that. You won't get any objections from me for having mom up there. I'm a big mama's boy.
And then for my fourth person, unless you have a third person, I can't think of my fourth person. I'll give you something for sure. I have to think a little bit about that. Do you have a third person right now?
I would definitely say my third person would be my aunt.
Yes.
She honestly, she is the strongest woman I know to date. She's been through, like I said, cancer 3 times, divorced. I mean, she had, was abused as a child. So she's definitely up there for me. And then I think my fourth one, I'd have to say, oh, it's hard. I'd say fourth one would have to be, I'm gonna say Ella Fitzgerald. I'm a big Ella Fitzgerald fan. Shoot, and knowing her story, she went obviously through separate, civil rights and all that jazz. Yes. She's been through it, and I have to pay homage to her because I mean, even though she even said people always ask her why didn't she play like black songs. She's like, it's not, songs aren't black and white. Nope. There's no color. So I definitely have to say Ella Fitzgerald for me, my fourth one.
And if you guys ever wonder like what's playing in our studio when we're working, you have a pretty good idea of what's always going on.
Exactly. That's what's up, man.
Mm-hmm. And then, man, I wish I had more time. I'll give you a fourth one. My fourth person, oh man, I mean, there's so many people I've met in my life that has really influenced me and that has taught me a lot. But for someone to bring it and put it all together to make sense, because, I mean, we've all been through tough times, and I remember just thinking, I'm going to hang it up to something probably I don't want to do as much anymore, and the person that gave me the strength, a different kind of definition of strength, would have to be Helen, Nolani right here, because perfect timing, it was the perfect place at the perfect time, because we're just about to get done with school. I knew what I kind of wanted to do. I know I wanted to pursue something for myself. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if it was going to be in shoes or not, but here we are, and it's because of her. I can't say I enjoy doing this if it wasn't for her. If she's sick, she picks up the pieces and she moves forward for us and carries me on her back, and I do the exact same thing for her. No problem at all. She, like I said, I may have some of the patience, but she gives me all the strength that I need. If there's ever any lack of motivation, if I forget why I'm doing this, what I'm doing it for, or how I'm going to do it, I just have to look over my shoulder and just have to look at her. And she'll remind me. And if she doesn't, she tells me exactly what I need to hear at the moment. Yeah. She'll either say, it's okay, don't worry about it. Or she'll look at me and say, are you fucking serious? Pick your ass up. We got work to do. We got shit to do, is actually what she says. Mm-hmm. And it's exactly what I need.
That's what's up, man. That's so dope.
I owe so much to her. So she's definitely on my Mount Rushmore for sure.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was dope. See, you thought I was gonna be like pulling teeth. You started coming through with them like, yeah. See, I'm telling these questions they're not the best part, but for me that's the best part because like you really get to hear like, yes, I like that. All right, now we're on to round 2 of questions. Round 2. 3 things that you would love to do on your bucket list. Give me anything, anywhere, any food, don't care.
I'll start it off. So, when I was blessed with the amount of athletes that were trusting me with their footwear, for their baseball cleats, for their professional boxing shoes, for their championship fights and everything, it gave me the opportunity to go travel around the world a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I went to Sneaker Central 2 years ago. I was able to go to Japan. I was in Tokyo. I stayed for 2 months, 1 month at a time during the summer, and then another month during the Christmas, New Year's time. Oh, man. And, I mean, if you think we're crazy about sneakers here,
dude,
I mean, you gotta go where it started.
Love Japan.
It's like crazy.
Oh, my God. Tokyo. It's like, I feel like you can't be a sneakerhead and not go to Tokyo. Mm-hmm. Like you can't. I mean, bro, I got stopped in customs because I copped so many kicks. I had to do it. What you want me to do? You know what I mean? Like I got stopped in customs because I mean I had to. You have to claim. I'm like, man, listen. I came back. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was 10,000. I'm not gonna say it was less. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. They had heat. Well, you know how it is. It's not heat. It's heat that you can't find. Mm-hmm. These are grails. Every grail that I've ever had on my list, I had to do it. The thing is, there was grails on other people's lists. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, hey, bro, You know, they got him. But they what? Yes, they got him. Oh, well, let me PayPal you some cheese. You better do it. You better hurry up. You know what I mean? So it's like, you have to make stops and runs for people. But I mean, there were sneaker shops, and those, they have the hidden shops. They like you can't just find them anywhere. Like there were sneaker shops. I'm like, bro, I know it's here because my man said it's here. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's behind. It's like up in this like. You have to go upstairs and like down the hall and then to the left. Like, oh,
yeah,
and
it's crazy. The way they have it set up architecturally, since they're so spread out, they have to build up, so it's hidden inside buildings.
Bro, it's such an efficient. Japan is the most efficient city. It is so efficient, and you're right. You nailed on the head. Like everything. Like I have a really really good friend that lives there, and like the first time I moved there, I mean, first time I went there, I was like, you've got to be kidding me! Like everything's just vertical. Yes, Sneaker Central. Yes.
Sneaker Central. And I recently had some people like my stuff from Japan, and I know a little Japanese, so I was able to communicate with them very, very little. But I started some of them started following me, and some of them were in the lifting community in Japan. So I thought, you know what, if I'm doing this now, I would love to go back, put on my bucket list. I would have loved to go back and do some kind of residency, or just be able to take my artwork over there and meet some of the people there and do some of the artwork on the spot for them, and be able to spread my brand, our brand here.
I think you would kill. I think you would absolutely. Oh my God, I think that would be so dope. Yeah, we'll definitely. I am pretty sure. Well, I mean, obviously, when the travel bans and COVID passes, like, I mean. I got a couple of buddies that also they actually own a gaming store. We're all actually planning on going back to Tokyo, man. So if that ever comes to fruition, and in the near future, I'll definitely let you know, because you're more than welcome.
Let me know.
You're more than welcome to roll with us.
Let us know, because we had plans too. I mean, I was in contact with his name was Coach K. He's a trainer for the U.S. Olympic team for boxing. Mm-hmm. He sent us a bunch of shoes. To customize for the USA team for the Olympics, but everything being postponed.
Yeah,
it's a little crazy right now, but I mean, we would love to roll with you if the opportunity comes and we're ready to go. And man. Everything lines up, man.
Yeah, I will definitely let you know, like when if and when we plan on going, because like I said, I mean, I have access to a lot of the lifters there myself, so I mean, that's a whole different market of power lifters that, I mean. They love the sneakers. They love the shoes.
Yeah,
so I mean, that one-on-one.
Perfect place to be.
I'm telling you. So bucket list number one is Tokyo. Going back to Tokyo, doing your thing. What's number two? Are we gonna go 1 and 1, 2 and 2?
Let's go 1 and 1. Let's go.
All right.
I would say a thing for me is to go to Paris. My dream is to go to Paris and just have a shopping spree in Paris.
Okay.
That's one of mine.
Spend like 20 racks.
Oh yeah, I know, we can't go 30. Cheap. And then she loves Disney too, so it's not just Paris. We're not just like.
That's my second one.
Oh, it's your second one. Oh, I'm sorry, that didn't happen.
You're ruining it.
No, I'm sorry. Shoot. Okay, so a bucket list. I mean, this is kind of like a thing that's fading, but at the same time too, I just want to get back into it. Before, I was juggling a lot of sports and doing a lot of things growing up, but the one that stuck to me was fighting. So. I was actually training with a lot of amateur and professionals in mixed martial arts. I've had a lot of smokers. I've had, you can call it official, unofficial, amateur fight. Mm-hmm. But this is just something just for me to prove to myself that at least I've been there and I was able to, be with the best, or at least be with someone. I'm not saying I am the best or anywhere near the level of any of the fighters in Bellator or UFC or anything like that. But, a professional fight could be locally, King of the Cage here in California that travels around. I would love to just like put myself to the test, not just like who I can take down and who I can go up against, but putting myself to the test and just prove to myself that
seeing it through.
I can do something like that. I've been there. I've been training. Yeah, I'm not the best, but I've been training jiu-jitsu for a handful of years. I've been boxing for a handful of years. I've been doing Muay Thai for a lot of years, and my base is in wrestling. So it'd be awesome to be able to do something like that and just put myself to the test and put myself in front of someone that wants to kill me.
Oh, for sure. So, sure. Like, I'm all for that, man. I mean, while you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you can do it, while you can do it. I dig that. Man, I dig that a lot. I could never do that. I'd get murdered, but that's what's up.
So I definitely got to get back in the gym and train again.
So you're number 2, milady?
I would definitely say I've always wanted to go to all the Disneylands in the world.
That's what's up. There's so many. I saw that new Disney World in Shanghai. I'm like, I gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
That one is so. Oh man, like Yeah, I'm a Disney fanatic myself. That's for sure. You know what I mean? We actually every now and then we'll Twitch when we're training. We'll Twitch. I mean, and we have to have we do top sets for Disney music. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know. I'm with that. That is. I mean, that's its own trip completely. You know what I mean? Like, all right, well, we're gonna do, and it's like, how much time does one set aside for each Disney? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Like there's still stuff at Disney World that fun fact, I was a cheer instructor. I did cheerleading for years and years and years, and so all those cheer competitions that are on, ESPN and stuff. Right. I was part of the company that hosted those. Well, we would be at Disney for like weeks at a time. So from January to May, every 15 days we would go back to Disney and conduct a competition. And out of all those years, 10, 12 years I did it. Out of all those years, I have still yet to see everything at Disney World. Like, that is...
It's huge. Disney World is too big. I went there once for 2 weeks. There's not enough time. You just don't have enough time.
No.
And for when the weather there is terrible. I mean, we have a good here in California, but the weather there, it's hot, humid, and then it's thunderstorming one day, and it's just
man, it's just nasty, muggy. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know if you've had a chance to go lately, but I mean, between the Avatar joint, which is unreal, and of course the new Star Wars. Oh my God! Like,
I went when Avatar just opened, and unfortunately, you know how you had to make reservations to ride the rides. They opened it a month in advance before you went there, and it was booked until I think 3 months after we left.
Yeah.
And the line, I remember we went, and we're like, you know what, we'll just stand in line. We went on the little boat ride. I forget what the other one was.
Oh yeah, the little like Pandora, and then the Avatar is the one with the boat, and Pandora is the big ride. Yeah.
Yeah, we got there in the morning. We're like, okay, we're gonna get there right when they open. Right when they opened, the lady told us that was monitoring the line. She's like, if you stay in line now, you won't get on to ride till 9 p.m. I was like, nope. No.
Nah, man.
And I've gone to Disneyland once with her, and I know being with her, I'm gonna have to get a passport. My wallet's gonna be hurting a little bit going to Disneyland with her on the regular.
Dude, it's no joke.
Like the way we have our business plan, everything's structured quarterly. How we're doing this quarter and what's expected the next quarter is exactly how she plans for Disney. We're gonna get there exactly in the morning before it opens up. We're gonna get our fast passes. We're gonna go to Cars first because that one gets packed way quicker than any other ride, and we're gonna go ride in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna go here. We have to be at here.
You gotta
holy crap!
The only way, this is the thing, my friend. The only way you're gonna make it through Disney is you have to have a plan. There's no flying by the seat of your pants at Disney because you will get devoured and left behind. Like, that's just an absolute fact. Especially now with the new Star Wars ride, because you would think like, oh, Star Wars, it's the new ride. It is so crazy. Like, I mean, especially like you get the app and everything now. You can use the app, but you have to be in proximity of the ride that you're trying to get a pass to. And so you sit there at 6:30, 7 o'clock, waiting hopefully for your number to be called. And it's the funniest. It is the absolute funniest thing because it's like waiting for the lottery. And literally like, all right, number 134. And you literally see when it pulls up on your app if you and your people got in, and you just hear, yeah, we got in. I mean, everyone becomes a kid again if you get what you want. But yeah, it's like you have to. I mean, I feel like if you really set out to really see everything at Disney World, you need about 2 straight weeks, and like you have to just follow that schedule. You'll have fun, but I mean,
I learned you have to have a strategy, you have to have a schedule, and you have to have some cardio. You gotta have some strength.
You gotta have some money, dude. You have to have good shoes, and you gotta have just a little bit of extra spending cash because there's no such thing as like I'm gonna get out of line to get some food. I mean, like we just.
Oh no! Or you bring it with you. See,
here's the thing, but listen, if you're a fat boy like me, those snacks are gone. They're gone before noon. Like my snacks are gone before noon.
Oh, I get you. I get that.
Like I pack my backpack. I'm talking to the brim, and I'm like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like I have my buddy legit take this particular backpack that I have right here, and he put secret compartments back behind. You might be able to see that. He put secret compartments back, so I have a false wall on this backpack, and it's full of snacks. I have 3 false walls on this 3-layer backpack that I have my buddy so that I could put my Disney snacks in there, and I didn't get caught. And they were gone by 12.
Well, you don't have to do that. If they ask if you're bringing too much food, if you tell them you have a food allergy, they can't tell you no.
So I don't think about all that. Don't think about all that.
You don't have to do all that. You just tell them, oh, I'm allergic to gluten or whatever, and they're like, oh, okay, come on through.
See, I ain't think about that. I do know that they say I hear that if you say you're ruining my Disney experience, that they let you slide. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I literally I two of my cheer girls actually. They're like, hey, coach, tell them they're ruining your Disney experience, and they'll let you slide. You don't have to worry about anything. I'm like, awesome. So I always had that clip at the tip of my tongue, but they never really questioned, because I mean, like I said, I'm so paranoid. I'm like, hey, I got false walls, and I was like, you're gonna crush my cupcakes or that. Like, oh wait, you know. So like, yeah, man, I'm excited for you guys, man. Like, I am so sorry. I thought it was just gonna be just an hour. Oops.
No, man. Okay. This is fun. We would love to do this anytime.
I'm not sorry. Awesome. I'm just saying.
It's our first podcast, so.
Oh, word! It won't be the last. I'm definitely gonna have you guys back. That's for sure.
We would love to.
Okay, so we got your number 1 and 2. We've got so we're going for number 3. I'm waiting for your 3. Second. You're going for 3.
Yeah, this is my 3rd one.
Okay, I'm excited.
Did I already go my 2nd? I can't even remember. We were having so much fun. Well, the 3rd one. There you go. So my 3rd one is definitely a lot more selfish, but you have to be, especially when you want to chase a dream and you want to accomplish it. It's a bucket list. So this is just my 3rd on the list is, last and not least, is to take our business and create it into an empire and something memorable, where we can not only express ourselves but be able to share what we do, what we love with others, teach other people potentially, and in the future we will be able to be in the position to help people out, inspire others, hire people, provide something for people to call home, and just share our craft and, inspire people one person at a time.
That's not selfish, brother. That's motivation. You're motivated, bro. That's not selfish. Because in the end, it's helping other people. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
So your selfish is going to lead to selfless. So nah, man. So it cancels out. It cancels out.
Cancels out. But people, and I'm definitely a victim of this. Is some people get caught up in pleasing other people's expectations. Not just pleasing other people's expectations, but some people get caught up. I'm guilty of, what's the expression? It's easy to fix other people's problems, but it's very difficult to even fix your own. And I was a victim of that for so long. I was always thinking, what can I do to other people to make them happy, and not just accept me, but like, what can I do to help them get to where they want? But right. For so long I neglected myself. What can I do for myself to get where I want to be? And as soon as I made that switch, as soon as I made that decision, things started falling in line. So there's something definitely people can take away from what I'm, from my list. It's that for sure.
I feel that. I appreciate that. That's what's up. That's dope. You guys are packing power today, boy. If I don't get an award for this one, I don't know. I'm killing it.
And I would definitely say my last one is selfish too. I always wanted to be able to go into a Louis Vuitton store, buy whatever I wanted, and not worry about the price. Not even look at the price tag. Just say I want.
Ooh, yeah, that's that whatever money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you're like, man, give me that. So I don't care about the price. Matter of fact, give me one more because you're being rude. Put it on her commission. Ew.
Mm-hmm.
Like
put it on his card though. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. So
listen,
that's why the empire has to be.
Just make sure that card is point based, so at least you get repaid some way.
Right.
Make sure it's point based. Yeah, listen, I am not mad at that, man. I tell my mom all the time, like, one of these days, mama, I'm gonna have an Oprah moment where I can walk in and I'm gonna get whatever I want. It don't matter what it is. You know what I mean? Like every now and again, like when I'm like feeling myself or like, you know what I mean, it's just the money's, I think everyone has that moment, you know what I'm saying? There's like a small moment, you know what I mean, where like it may not be like this huge luxury, but you have your money's right just enough that you can like, all right, I'm gonna go get that. I don't even care. Like I've had a couple of those moments where I'm like, you know what, man? I mean, it don't even matter, bro. Go ahead and give me 2 of those. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just, it honestly, I mean, sometimes it's just like, you know what? I made an extra rack, and I just I want to just go and buy 2 meals instead of 1. You know what I mean? Or like, yo, give your boy 2 pieces of cheese. I'm balling today. I need 2 pieces of cheese on that burger. No, you know what? Make it a double patty. You know what? We're living today. You know, so like, I'm not balling, but I mean, like, it's because like I think for a lot of people, it's just, it's just one of those things. Like, this is something that I've always wanted to do. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter like, who's watching, whatever. But I mean, just how fire would that be? Like, let me go in this LV real quick and just like, what are you gonna get? I don't know. I just feel like going and getting something. Like, how fire would that feeling be? Just like, you know what? Let me go on Louis real quick. What are you gonna get? Honestly, I don't even know. I get a bag. I don't know. I might get a belt. I might get a bag and a belt. I might get a backpack too. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna see if they have anything.
That's the goal. The goal is to stay away from the dollar menu when you go to the LV store for sure.
Boy, listen, like like if there's a sales rack, I in my heart of hearts, and I will honestly tell you guys, and I won't. I guess the public will know now, but I want to be able to turn my nose up at the sales rack just one time. Like not even it doesn't even get a glance from me. Like I'm not even gonna side eye it. I just want to walk straight. Like, you know what I mean? Like I love how stores strategically place it at the very front of the of the room, so you have to go by it. I want to almost be like, I am appalled that you even think that I'm gonna look clearance. What is clearance? Like, I just want that moment one time. You know what I mean? And then I'll come back down to earth. I'll check myself, of course.
Leave the store a little offended for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I was going to buy 5 bags, but the fact you had a sales rack in front of me, the nerve. I'm gonna go have 4 bags. You know what I mean? Like, who? I just want to be like super bougie just one time, and like, all right, I need to check myself. Somebody's gonna check me, I'm sure. But you know what I mean? Like, I want to just be able to just have that moment. I feel that to my core. I feel that to my core to not even care about the price. But I will say this, based off the work I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Based off the passion that I hear, and obviously you guys have you have the experience, and you just, dog, y'all are eating right now. You know what I mean? Like, I have no doubt that it's gonna happen. Like, honestly, I just want to get the exclusive when it happens. Like, you know what I mean? Ellis, guess what? Like, tell me what happened. I mean, I walked into Louis. I thought I was gonna just get one thing. It turned out I got 4 or 5 things. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, the only thing you're really gonna be able to say is like, I mean, I got like 4,000 points. So I mean, I guess I have a free trip now because of the points, because she spent the money at Louis, and now we're going to Disney World with our new travel bags. You're welcome. I just tied that together.
That's good. That's a good strategy. Yes. Actually, that's
my excuse for using his card.
This is for Disney. A little
bit less now, for sure.
Hey, listen, this is for Disney. This is for Disney. There it is. Exactly. Boom. I'm making excuses for you. Now we're at the special part.
This is coming up. I knew this.
What you thought? How do you know? You knew us. I told you before we started. So I hope,
but it's still, man.
We don't sing. We're creators. Yeah. But we're vocally not there.
Listen, you don't have to sing it. You can rap it. You can talk it.
Okay.
How are you going to be a fan of both Ella and of Marvin, and not have just a little something?
Because they sing too good for us to even try to.
I didn't say you have to be either. You know what I mean? Didn't say any of that. Just say, you know what I mean?
Okay.
That's true.
So, gun to your head. Stuck in an alley. The only way you can leave out alive is you have to be able to sing verbatim a song, or rap a song, or recite a song for 10 to 15 seconds. Okay. Could you walk out of the alley alive? could you make it out safe? Yes or no?
Yes.
You could.
Yes.
What would be your song?
Like I said, I'll do What's Going On by Marvin Gaye.
Awesome. And you are on.
Okay. Mother, there's too many of you crying, sorry. Brother, there's way too many of you dying. So you know what's going on. What's the other sorry, I got trying to speed this up. Yeah. Sorry, sorry.
No, listen, you made it.
Drawing a blank. I'm getting two songs.
Because that whole album is one song.
The whole album is
one
song.
It doesn't. Yeah,
so
it really doesn't stop. Yeah, it really doesn't stop.
Yeah,
that's tough. I mean, if I had a gun in the head, I'd have to say, why can't we be friends? No, I'm just kidding. I know, I'd get out of the situation right there. No, I'll throw you a curveball. I like all kinds of music. Again, she's the one that introduced me to R&B. So I'm definitely getting my R&B up. But let's see. Well, I won't even give you the name of the song. I'll just sing it. It's a country song. Heading down south to the land of the pines. I'm thumbing my way into North Carolina. Staring at the road, I pray to God I see headlights. I made it down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers. And if I'm hoping O'Reilly, I can see my baby tonight. That's it.
Nicely done, you guys. You made it out of the alley alive. Now you have an opportunity to go to Louis and buy your bag. You have your opportunity to go into the world and see Disney. You have a chance now because you're alive and you made it out of the album. You made it out of the alley. Now you can watch your business flourish. You have your staff of, you know what? I'm going to say you have your staff that started with 2 that now has grown to 200. That soon become an enterprise and now has 2,000. 2,000 now turns to 200 separate locations worldwide.
Exactly.
That would be the dopest. And I'll probably still have this shoe in the glass case. You guys, I cannot thank you enough for this just opportunity to talk to you guys, to get to know you guys.
No, it's a privilege to be able to be on here with you. We're very thankful for the platform. We would not imagine that we would be doing this today.
I am absolutely I'm blown away. You know, and the fact you guys gave me so much of your time, it speaks volumes about you guys. You're as quality comes. You know what I mean, and your product speaks to that. I honestly, man, I'm loving you guys. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this, man. It's, you know, right now we have so much trash, you know, going on in the world, man. This is literally the biggest light that I've had in my day. The absolute biggest light that I've had in my day, man. I'm proud to know you guys. I'm proud of you guys. Congratulations. You know what I mean?
Thank you very much. And before we end, I remember asking you if I can give a couple people a shout out, because it wasn't for Eric Olmos for posting those shoes up. For Sergio for telling me how an awesome person you are. I definitely wouldn't be in this position of being able to, you know, create for you and help you express yourself with your footwear and your
Almost
shoes.
Brothers, those dudes are powerhouses, man, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you to them. And on Memorial Day, there's we did a design together that we released for the Romaleos, but we can do it on anything. It was just the American flag. And it was for Memorial Day. Obviously, we wanted to do it in honor of all the veterans and active men and women in service that are sacrificing and serving us today. And one person in particular that reached out to me, his name is Reese, hashtag Reese_008. He reached out to me, and his first question was, what's a vet got to do to get his hands on a pair of shoes like this? And we just looked at each other, and without a second thought, not a damn thing. Whatever you want to give, whatever you want to pay is completely up to you, you know, for everything you've given to us, for being such a selfless person. And he loved the conversation, and he loved it, and he did something that he didn't have to do. he said, "Is it okay if I can screenshot this conversation and post it up? Like, this is, we really appreciate what you were doing for, for my brothers and sisters that served." And we did. And to our surprise, we had so many people contact us. Jay Lopez, JJ2587, currently right now in Afghanistan, sent me the full price. He said, "I don't even want to, take a discount or whatever. I'm going to give you the full price of whatever you guys are charging, because, we believe in your work, and thank you so much for offering something like this to us." So shout out to Jay Lopez, who's currently in Afghanistan right now. Brian Meyer and his not wife, fiance, both of them are Army veterans, or both of them are active duty.
That's awesome.
Reached out to me. Thank you so much to them. Let's see. Who else? Love to Lift Air Force in San Diego. She reached out to us as well. We have just a handful of amazing people that reached out to us. John Cunningham said something really awesome to us. Let's see. Or was it John Cunningham? There's another person here that I really want to. Carl Wagner. Cameron. Brian. We don't have a last name, but his hashtag is BCWiley1. And he gave us a really nice message. He said, "I'm sure you have received a ton of messages, especially after the red, white, and blue Nikes. But I am just saying thank you. I saw the posts to veterans about charging whatever they are willing to pay. Well, I'm currently overseas serving and I would glad to give you the $200 because of your kindness is worth it. Look forward to doing business when I get home." And, this is something that we wanted to do to hook them up.
Right.
But the kind of individuals that they said, "No, you don't need to hook us up. We'll hook you up by paying the full prices." Just speaks, just really shows who they are and the kind of people that they really are, how selfless and how caring they are. And not just, overseas currently, in the struggle for us, but to be able to give it back to us, even though we're trying to give to them, just means so much to us. And we just want to let everybody know here too that any veterans, anybody serving, we have a name your price system. You've done so much for us. You guys have given, mentally, physically, things that we can never repay. And we thank you for that. We thank you for your service. And we live in a crazy time right now. There's so many things going on. 2020 has just been kicking us to the ground and just stopping us over and over and over and over again. And, there's a lot of things going on right now that it's just crazy. We never would have expected that this is how 2020 would turn. We decided to start a business before the pandemic. A mentor once told me the best time to plant a tree is 100 years ago. So you better start now. And through all this, we're getting through together. Helen, Alani, and I, we're getting through this together. I just want to say to everybody, thank you so much for trusting us with their footwork, for trusting us to, with their shoes, for allowing us to not only share our creations and express themselves, but for people, the communication is so important for you to me and other people that have been inquiring us for shoes. It's the stories that they give us. We have one named Whit McGee, that's her Instagram handle, that wanted to get her Romaleos custom with the colorful puzzle pieces for autism awareness, because she was battling so hard. A Texas native too. She was battling so hard for her son that has autism. And it's the reason why we do this, for the people that love to express themselves, that are fighting for something bigger than them, that are representing something more than them, that's bigger than them. And in today's world, there's something obviously going on, and it's unfortunate with everything that's going on. We just want to tell everybody, be safe, love each other, family first. We're all friends and family together, and there's a lot of things that we can see on the TV, but we got this. We can stay together, just like how I have Nalani here next to me. We can get through anything. It's a very tough time, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. We'll get there, one step at a time, one day at a time.
Well, I cannot follow that up. I will not follow that up. That is as eloquent, heartfelt, and to the point as it can be, man. I appreciate you two so very much. You know what I mean? That's how we're gonna end it right there. That's amazing. Where can you guys be reached?
Go ahead and give your handles.
Well, my Instagram handle is helen.made.
Helen.made_.
Correct? Oh, underscore, yes.
Yeah, so Helen.made_ is for heels. We have a little bit of stuff there, but best believe us, we're going to come with a lot of designs. We're going to come with a lot of work. We're really inspired to get a lot of stuff going. So there's definitely going to be an awesome amount of things from us. And then, of course, we co-own Bespoke Designs. And that's BSPK_designs. And again, the conversation is very important. We can create the worst thing we can hear is people say, when we ask what they want, we don't know them, and surprise us. Talk to us.
Yeah.
We're here. We love to have a conversation. We would like to get to know you. So in case you don't know exactly what you would like, at that point, we're not so much artists. We're trying to figure out what they want. We're interpreters at that point, because we need to interpret what your idea is. Everyone's an artist in their own way, and we just want to bring that out, and we want to create for you guys.
Well, you guys, I appreciate it so very much. Thank you so much for your time. You guys be safe.
No, thank you so much.
Stay happy, and I'm so excited for this. I cannot wait for people to hear this, man. You guys,
we can't wait.
Corner of the Circle. Appreciate you guys. We will talk to you guys soon. We'll see you guys soon. We're out. All right. Thank you guys. Good stuff, man. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for listening to the Corner of the Circle, for watching the YouTubes and listening to all the different podcasts and all that good stuff. Want to let you guys know, also do some coaching. You can go to ellismcclain.com, and it will lead you right to where you need to go as far as filling out an inquiry and all that good stuff. And also, if you want, apparel needs and all that good stuff, we got swag. ellismcclain.com. Again, thank you so very much for everything you guys are doing for us, man, and helping us grow and all the good stuff. Like I said, stay tuned. We got more stuff coming, more episodes coming, more content coming. Either way, a lot of stuff's coming. Thank you guys very, very much.